Stocks trying to hold on to yesterday's gains here this morning, down slightly, ever so slightly here for the Nasdaq. Anyways, S&P 500 trying to get back to positive territory as we speak, ahead of more employment data coming up both this morning and tomorrow morning. It's worth noting ADP employment figures coming up in about 15 minutes from now today. And then tomorrow at 8:30, we'll get non-farm payrolls. This one's actually going to be on time. If you remember last month, we missed it. For a few days anyways, because of the government shutdown. So we'll bring that to you live when it does happen. A few things moving around on the individual side of things. Morgan Stanley, some of the banking names, not a lot of volume behind this right now, but Morgan Stanley downside here on some job cuts. We'll touch on that. The big one as far as earnings goes, AVGO, Broadcom, huge move after the close last night. Coming in right now a little bit here on the back of a nice gap higher after that move yesterday on a beat right across the board. Amazon as well coming through this morning with a couple of headlines. We'll touch on that. There was a huge bid underneath Amazon yesterday throughout the entire morning. Its name was Cathie Wood to the tune of about 45,000 shares going into the ARK Invest trio of ETFs yesterday, along with some AI and robotics related headlines to touch on with Amazon today as well. So we'll get into that. Obviously, all eyes continue to be on the Middle East and continued tensions in that area. Oil a little bit calmer this morning than it has been the past couple of mornings, back to the upside for the first time in a couple of days here. All of the energy names, there's XOM, all of the energy names kind of hanging out where they ended the day yesterday, even with crude inching back higher here. Nothing has really changed on this front from yesterday as far as these headlines go, but we'll keep an eye out today. Yeah. Hopefully we get some positive momentum.
Yeah, more action, more military action in the Middle East yesterday, expanding a little bit. Brenda will have to keep an eye out on that. Good morning, guys. Lots of earnings names to talk about. Still kind of in the midst of earnings season. We got StubHub, we got JD.com reporting. The trade desk has a tie-up today with OpenAI, and I see that that's leading on the leaderboard here. Broadcom, as you mentioned, with interesting numbers, Brendo, as they continue to kind of dominate in the application-specific integrated circuits game. Nvidia also coming out with that headline that the H200 may not actually have a market in China, and really focusing the majority of their skill and their production on the next gen rather than trying to get those H200s to China, which, you know, to be honest with you, given the Chinese, the uncertainty of the Chinese regulator there, probably a good strategic move.
It seems like every day or every other day there's another angle to this, the whole China back and forth thing. I mean, it never seems to end. So whether or not we'll get an actual resolution to this, who knows? TTD, yeah, up huge this morning. But if you zoom out on this thing, I mean, remember, this has gotten absolutely destroyed from where it once was, going back to the end of 2025. 125, 135, even at the highs. We're back down to 35, 40 bucks here. I mean, it's something for the trade decks. Remember, this is advertising, digital advertising. So OpenAI going to use TTD for their ads.
And it's very clear with Altman. And, you know, he got a little bit of pushback on a couple of ways, the advertising and the Claude taking shots at them at the Super Bowl. Then you got some more pushback internally as well as externally about his deal with the Department of War, walking that back a little bit. But I want to get your opinion, Brendo, on the new Apple products that came out yesterday. You see that $599 laptop, and it's going to be $499 for students. Yeah. And it's specifically focused at students are trying to eat into the Chromebook marketplace. Exactly. And I think that there is one strategic advantage here that Apple has that Chromebook doesn't. When Chromebook gets dated, it's not upgradable. You got to throw that bad boy out. Yeah. So it's not going to have the same type of lifespan or support.
I mean, these aren't either, really.
The Apple ones?
Yeah.
Apple ones, you're going to get support all throughout.
No, but you can't add more RAM or
no,
add, it's
no, but the Chromebooks ones, like when, I don't know if, like I had nieces and nephew that were using this. Sure. This is the only reason I know about it. When they get 2-3 years dated, they got to get thrown out. Right. So there's really no software updates that keeps coming in for them to support them into the future with updates. I like the $599 price point. I think that, you know, Marquez Brownlee dropped a video about it yesterday. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. No. I think this might be a game changer. I mean, $599 is a very low price point for an Apple product.
Yeah, I mean, for that use case, it does make a lot of sense. I mean, it's still the did I read that correctly? The A18 and the A19 chips that are going to be in it.
You're right.
So the processing is going to be insignificant compared to what you can get in actual MacBooks, but
no, it's not the same. This is definitely not the same. But compare it to the A16 that's included in the base iPad. So you can kind of get an idea. You and I were talking off camera about how students are studying. They're using their iPads. They're doing the split screen notes on one side, textbook on the other. So if you're looking for something in that kind of category, this is much more robust than you would get for a regular iPad. And they're very similar price points. I think like $100 off each other.
Yeah. I mean, it's a monster market if they can break into it successfully. Then you know, and the other good part about that with Apple is that it's kind of a introductory drug for younger people to get them started into the ecosystem. I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids, but Sean, maybe you can help out. I mean, what age do people start having iPhones at this point? I have no idea.
My kids, like 4 or 5, but no, both my kids have phones, and I was actually out with a buddy of ours yesterday. Both his kids have phones, and I would probably say probably 7 or 8 years old. I'm not sure. I mean, they've had iPads since they were babies.
Yeah, pads are different, but I think phones in my daughter's class, it's 1, but then you get to 9 and 10, and then it's like, I think it's between 8 and 10 that it seems like most people are getting them. Anyway, based on our class.
Yeah, I think at least, I think probably 8. I mean, we could ask people in the chat there, but like I got my daughter her MacBook 2 years ago, and she's 11 now. So yeah, she likes everything. So my kids have pretty much they're just spoiled. They have AirPods and all that stuff too. So, but they have the Chromebooks are given out through the school for free. So they even have Chromebooks that they can bring home. But to your point, it is just for basically data entry and surfing the web and things like that.
They have the in-class. I don't know if everyone has the in-class portal stuff, or like their homework and stuff will be on the portal online for them to be able to do, which is all cool stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna find out when our kids got their phones, because I was even trying to think about it yesterday. The buddy that we're with has kids exactly the same age as ours. Kids have phone plans and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's important to do that, to get them at least associated with technology. How they use it is a completely different thing. That's what you have to monitor, right? I mean, there's so many different use cases for the phones and stuff, especially when you're taking longer trips. You want to have an iPad, they watch movies or whatever on those devices now too, right? So it's not just all about TikTok.
Oh, she's gonna be watching something on her device on her tablet on Saturday. We're on the flight. Like, always, my daughter's not a good flyer. Like, it's a lifesaver.
It's funny because it's not even that long to go to Florida. We have a 2-hour drive to go to a hockey game on Saturday.
It's only 3 hours.
So.
It's a short flight, but you gotta trust me. We had an experience, and we went to spring training 2 years ago. Not the best flyer in the world, but you know what? If you had told me that Broadcom was gonna get rewarded for this queue, and they were gonna be up 6%. My thought was that the market would be up on that, and I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. Like, I was skeptical whether they'd be able to beat, and I get it, it's under VWAP and pulling back a little bit. They'd be able to beat, talk about how they're getting memory. They're making sure that they have access to memory so they can sustain growth. You have the hyperscalers doing their custom chips benefits them, but unfortunately, we're up 6 points here in a big constituent in the major indexes, and we're slightly down on the ES and the Nasdaq. So a little bit disappointing for Broadcom, but it's not for the reaction of the market to Broadcom's earnings. I just thought we'd be doing a little bit better. But yeah, trade desk, dead cat bounce. There are some things to watch. Obviously, we got to watch out for day 2 or whatever we want to call it for this crypto bounce and see how that one wants to play out. But disappointing. I felt we could be upside here.
There you go. Hamster's kid dropped his iPhone down the toilet, his first iPhone, at 5 years old.
Happens. I mean, accidents will happen.
Yeah, I don't know if that's probably a joke anyways, but watch out for kids dropping iPhones down toilets. The thing is, if you drop one nowadays, as long as it's just into the water,
as long as nothing's in the toilet.
Yeah, you have some sort of a protection.
That's a whole other story.
I think it's like 30 seconds. Like most phones now can be absorbed in water for a certain amount of time anyways. not for very long. Oil's trying to come back in right now too. 77 down to 77.50 down to 77. Looking to get a little lower here. This is going to be something to trade. Yesterday we were looking at Oxy. We'll look at something like that again today, maybe some XOM. But it is starting to drip down a little bit. We will have Mitch coming through from Trade the Pool. It looks like at 8:30. I'm going to ask him about SoFi. 77.50 down to 77. Looks like it wants to break a little lower there. Bitcoin as well today. And, you know, like we call IBIT Bitcoin, I call TQQs and Qs the futures when obviously they're not. But you could see Bitcoin right here trying to almost make a little bit of a trend here getting into the downside. So this could be something else that's maybe looking to get shorted here today. I'm actually struggling to find some real good stories to trade off of today. So I don't actually have the same feels I do today as the last, pretty much every day this week. It seems like a little mixed sport. Oh, Randy, did you say coffee, Randy? Sure, why not? How's it going, Randy? No lunch here yet, or no breakfast here yet. Ooh, Randy's teasing us with a coffee of his own.
Yeah, what's that about?
Right now.
Like that?
At least gonna make any big trades, Randy, or what?
Wow, he just laughed at
Randy
that.
Randy wants him to blow it all up, man. He was telling me he wants William gone.
Yeah, well, get everybody gone.
He wants
You want to get rid of Nylander?
He wants to get rid of Nylander. He wants to get rid of Matthews. He wants to get rid of everybody. And then I found out that he's a Canadians fan. So come on, man. I mean, this is probably
that
why.
None of that matters.
You know what I mean?
Come on, son.
Oh man. Oh, here he comes. How's it going, Randy? The mic is over there somewhere if you can find it. I don't know. Okay, all right.
Standing
wow,
right there.
everybody.
He doesn't even want to talk to us.
Disrespecting the audience. Yeah, everybody wants to hear from Randy, you know. Trying to give the people what they want, Randy.
Should be happy. XOM is flying. Should be in a good mood.
Randy, people are here for you, not for us.
Exactly.
We are like the sideshow. I don't know if you realize that. Yeah, he knows.
Come on.
Now he has a smirk on his face. He knows exactly.
It's part of the bald head brotherhood, baby.
What is going on?
Let's go.
He's not bald though.
Yeah, he's close enough.
Okay.
It's close enough.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, our other friend there. He didn't shave. He didn't shave out of necessity. He has full hair.
He just wanted to.
He's just going Randy style.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, he has full head of hair. That guy. I'm surprised that he shaved it there. All right. Yeah. See, everybody wants the automotive segment. Everybody wants everything.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to give people what they want. I know we both are. So.
What's up with well, what's up with Rivian though? Randy just walked out of the building because this one. It would have made the list today if it was threatening this flat bottom break, but it's not. But we mentioned this yuck, and more yuck lately. At least it's flat right now. But I just feel like at some point, if you're not going to bounce, it just keeps fading hard in all these mountains. Yesterday there was some movement in NEO. The other 2 or 3 days ago. We got some questions about NEO, and we're like, yeah, whatever, that stock's not doing anything. And then yesterday, it woke up and had a bit of a bounce. I thought maybe it could have been breaking the 5 today. It was a good day for NEO, almost 10% to the upside, but it didn't really break that 5, and now it's back down. So yeah, I'm trying to look for something in the automotive space that actually might be moving around. I know this was one that some people in the chat were riding to the long side. Unfortunately, no continuation. So yeah, a bit disappointing with NIO. Certainly, I think that Rivian flat bottom break, it's imminent. That stock's been languishing a little bit. Tesla, on the other hand, if we're going to talk about the EVs, held on to that 400 breakout pretty nicely. And in disappointment this morning, we're already headed back potentially down to that 4. But that should be a key level to watch here for Tesla today. That should be on most people's radars as a heavily traded stock. When I looked at the visualizer this morning, I was like, oh, really? It's not what you would usually expect. Like you got
going on.
No, you got like Tesla in silver, but then like Trade Desk, obviously, right? Like I don't think anybody's surprised. I mean, we're surprised Trade Desk is up this much because you wouldn't know the story was coming. Huge insider buy. But MobX, which is day 3 now and back under $1. That's surprising to me. You got Broadcom, CRM, but like not a lot of the bigger names out there. Webull, huge disappointment for Webull. Didn't even move off their earnings. If you're not going to go up, at least be moving so that it's in play today. And Webull dead flat, actually down a couple of points here. AMD gives back a little bit. That's down 1.6%. And remember, if you want to get symbols in here, $, and I will say $Netflix. I want to look at Netflix today. So I'm going to go $ Netflix. That'll pop down in there, and we'll get some more names. There's Netflix. I wonder how it decides if the stock is red, maybe it does it in red. Who knows? So Tesla's still number one, Trade Desk, MobX, Broadcom, obviously, silver. We'll keep Shave is not a ticker, everybody. It's not.
It might
but
be.
Is it?
No.
Maybe. No, it's all.
Do you have 5 letters?
There's no chance. But we'll keep our ear to the ground. There's obviously going to be a situation continuously. I don't think there's any Fed speak today, but anything out of Iran has tended to move the markets from time to time, especially if you're watching the oil futures market. So
we don't. I'm just gonna look to see. I'm gonna check the watch list to see.
We have 8:30 numbers, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let me just pop this out. What watches we're all referencing here every day is pretty much right into here. So this is the watch list that's coming out. We do have that March Madness coming. We do have Mitch coming on from Trade the Pool, so they have that going on there. Yeah, initial jobless claims, import prices, export prices, so nothing. I mean, you might want to look at jobless claims expected 215 right here at 8:30. That's coming out. Intel trading lower, Nvidia, AAL, Hood, and then all the stories, Broadcom, Robinhood, Trade Desk, Nvidia, Alibaba, actually with a decent story today. Alibaba isn't getting crushed lately, guys. Don't even look at that stock. I'm glad I got out of some of that at 160. Oh, my God. JD, Webull, Rigetti, they're all here right now. So go check out our watch list at tradertv.live. And yeah, I was actually really surprised when I was looking at this the last couple of days, and Alibaba was down to 140. Then I was like, okay, that's not good. Now today you're down to 130. Look how disgusting this stock has been to the downside. We actually bought some at 160, sold what we bought at 160, realizing that it was no bueno. And now you're all the way to the downside. Thank you, Randy. All the way down there to 115 and into 120 again goes Alibaba. So, glad we got out of that one. They're looking to rebuy it. I mean, I do like Alibaba. I like the valuations for them. But yeah, what a disgusting couple weeks here for Alibaba, man. Just straight downside there as some of these mega cap tech names continue to get hit, especially in China. But the other one, TCHY.
Could be worse.
Oh, it could always be worse.
Look at JD.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was going to try to call up Tencent and things like that to see what exactly is going on. And I'm glad that, Brian Shannon and other people like that have really dissuade me from investing in some of these names. And I'm sure as hell glad that I did not, because now they're all the way down. And I think at some point they're worth buying right there. But, 10 cents still downside play. All right. Thank you to Randy. The coffees are now here and hot. That's for sure.
Always.
Yeah, Sharif and Joe, everyone's heard breakfast roll in. The guy's a little card, he's rolling it in. I think it's sandwiches today, Sharif, so you might have to just peel off the...
yeah, that's okay, Katina.
Peel off the carbs out of there. But what is that? Every morning you have the same breakfast, right?
Sir.
So what is it's 47?
Top 47.
15.
I just heard Brendan say 47 eggs.
12 egg whites, Katina Man, and 4 yolks with mixed vegetables. We got to get those fibers and those minerals, Katina Man. So
I feel like there's a
can't forget about those. 12 egg whites, Randy.
I feel like there's a wheat in there or something, isn't there? Isn't there something like a rice or something? I don't know.
No, I promise you. You always think that
only
there's
vegetables
rice, but there isn't. I promise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like it. All right, well, 12.
I gotta try a bite. You gotta share a bite or two one of these days.
That's the funny thing. He has that thing with 12 and 4, right? 12 whites, 4 yolks. Yeah. Is that what it was?
Yes, sir.
And then now he gets excited because there's more eggs on its way.
But that's what doesn't make any sense to me. Is you already have 16 eggs.
That's already.
What do you need more?
We need the protein, Neil.
Well, you don't need all the protein.
Isn't it 1 gram?
The fam needs protein too, man.
Is it supposed to be 1 gram per pound?
Yes.
A day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You must be getting that at least, Sharif.
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, easy.
What metric do you go for? Is it 1.5?
It's exactly it's 1 per
1 to
pound,
1.
Katina Man. I do exactly as you just said there.
We'll have to, do you know the macros from that meal?
Yeah. For this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say about 30 grams of fat, a little bit more, maybe 35, and then you're in the ballpark of around 80 to 90 grams of protein. But you get a lot of fiber.
You front load.
Like I put like a cup and a half worth of mixed veggies. You got carrots, you got peas, you got legumes,
There's not a lot of calories in vegetables, though.
That one's more for the fiber, right? To keep everything going.
So you front load your day with massive amounts of protein. Okay. I like it. Little one moving up here, UAMY. There was a government contract just announced. Not a lot of volume or move, but a couple of people mentioned that. New government contract for them. Let's, looking ahead here, I mean, we can recap that jobs data maybe real quick. Hold on, we'll refresh that calendar. It's 8:30 this morning. ADP was yesterday. That was 8:15. We'll get the job listings, weekly jobless claims coming up at 8:30 this morning. Tomorrow we'll get non-farm payrolls. As you were mentioning, a whole bunch of earnings names to deal with this morning. A few of them moving around right now. If you want to zoom out a little bit, OKTA, one that actually isn't moving around right now, but did have a decent move after the close yesterday on a good report.
Yeah, this is an interesting report here. Just trying to pull it up. It beats on earnings, Brendo, as security demand grows. Let's talk a little bit about this one. Oops. There we go. 1 second. Sorry, guys. There we go. So yeah, better than expected fourth quarter revenue. EPS coming in at 90 pennies. The street was looking for 85 on revenue, Brendo, of 761 million. That easily beats the 749 expected. And revenue, that top line number grew at a healthy 11% year over year. Net income, that take home money, continues to grow. $23 million last year on the quarter. This time taking about 65. And they're including AI agents. Who knew? Okta said the rapid growth of AI agents and automated software, is increasing the need for secure identity verification. And I was talking about this with Joseph. I'm like, in the age of more advanced AI, and AI that can be quite nefarious, let's be honest about it, if used in the wrong way, how could these cybersecurity names be getting decimated so much? The only thing that we could come up with, and what the market has been saying, is that you're going to in-house a lot of this stuff. You're going to be able to do it internally rather than paying the multiples that Pandub and CrowdStrike have been asking for.
I think that's a little complicated, even for AI at this point, but who knows? What do I know? Another one here, even I guess the Sydney Sweeney effect wasn't enough to save American Eagle. I mean, it's day lows right now. I mean, it's not a huge move, but I mean, we're back to the lows. Right
She's really focused on her own lingerie line at the moment. You're not seeing too much in the way of her.
One and done with AEO and on to her.
I think she's technically still under contract, but you're not seeing the commercials nearly as much as I was seeing them on TikTok. I didn't really see them on television, to be honest with you, because they're more on American channels, but I haven't been seeing them. Yeah, got out of this one a while ago, Brendo. This one feels like it might be retracing down to that breakout level in the same way that it did on the last earnings report. If we can look at this for a second here on the daily, because Joseph and I also were talking about this on the Midday show. Have a look at what it did last time. So it had that big move up into about $20, and that's when I was kind of dancing on the table telling Joey, my money's coming soon. And then it dropped all the way down back into that $14 level where it broke out. That was a flat top break, and then it ended up continuing forward. So I think this one might be destined back to $20, Brendo, to test that breakout level.
I mean, overall, still constructive if you zoom out, as you said, on a higher time frame. Just seeing a note here on Amazon launching something called Amazon Connect Health, an AI platform that automates scheduling, verification, documentation, and coding while integrating with healthcare EHR systems. So a few things on Amazon today. Let's get some options ideas from Joe.
All right, guys, good morning and happy Thursday. Let's take a look into the world of derivatives. So essentially here, guys, we've seen the crypto space moving higher yesterday. Substantial moves in Ethereum and in Bitcoin. So let's take a look at some of the options activity. We're going to kick things off here with some IBIT calls, and that's going to be at that $40 strike price. Now, at that specific zone, expiring this Friday, yesterday we had 30,000 open contracts with 15,600 open and closed. And you can see the bid in the ask sitting around $8 or $7. Sorry, I think that's going to tighten relatively soon. These are in the money, so you can see our delta metric is relatively high, 78 there. So for every $1 move in the underlying, you're going to see that contract range $78. And your gamma exposure, considering it's extremely in the money, but if you go after the open and look at that gamma exposure, slightly elevated, so you can see an increase there. And as for our Vega metric, 60.8%, not horrible, a little elevated in my opinion. As you can see, we're starting to slowly come back in. Moving forward, Ethereum up around 10% at its highs yesterday. We're going to take a look at ETHA and that $15 strike price, once again expiring tomorrow. Open interest sitting around 17,900, and your volume open and closed contracts 1,360. Now, once again, considering it's an in-the-money call, and how can we determine this without even actually seeing the strike price or correlating? Just check your delta, right? The higher the delta, the chances are the higher, the more in the money it is. So that is not too bad. 88 right there for every $1 change. You'll see an $88 change within that contract, and then you have your gamma added on top of that. And the at-the-money IV, your Vega metric here, slightly elevated, 82.6%, guys. We'll be back momentarily with some upgrades and downgrades.
Here he is, Joey Options, looking fresh, looking clean, like the look. Don't like the look of what was just happening in silver and gold. I mean, the market's not doing much, slightly sliding back in a little bit, but silver giving up a lot of its gains. It wasn't much overnight, but certainly a little bit of a down push. Like SLV just lost $1.05, $1.50, I should say. And if you're looking at GLD in here, if it wants to load up, we just dropped like about 1% and change. So about a $5-6 drop here in GLD as well. So both gold and silver sliding. The market wasn't really reacting too heavily to it. The Nasdaq's only 0.4 down and kind of holding on to that 25,000 level. But something to monitor. We did see this on Monday going into the open. Like you did have this drop, kind of a random. It was closer. It was definitely closer to the open than now because we have numbers coming out. But there was that heavy drop in gold and silver right off of the bat, and eventually did catch a bid. So in about 4 minutes, we're going to get some economic data. We'll see if these moves in gold and silver can catch a bid. It looks like they already are. So it wasn't any news that I'm aware of. We didn't hear anything on our ear. Didn't really see anything hit the wire. But there's been some weakness in the metal, so it could just be a little bit of that.
Yeah, I was looking at some Intel short here today, some Chinese news yesterday. Not much going on. I was asking Adair about it because it's down 1% and the Nasdaq's only down 0.3. So I have Intel on my mind. I've got silver. I'm just writing the notes out right now. And then I actually like that story. Brendan just brought it to us right before we came through with the options. Not about the story about Amazon, but I like that momentum from yesterday. So I just wanted to see, like, you know, nice move right off the open. We did find out that it was Cathie Wood and others. I mean, you know, the momentum was good yesterday to the long side in the market anyway. So Amazon helped with that. So I was going to write down on any dip buy opportunities, Amazon down here near 211 to 211.50. What is that, Randy? Oh, another croissant. This guy's loving their croissants these days. Oh, the bananas are there in the back. Thanks, Randy. So yeah, Amazon down into yesterday's sort of opening range, probably a buy right into there, 211 to 212. So we'll see if that hits on a downside trade for Amazon, down 0.6, market down 0.3. And then just a quick check on oil, and we'll go back to the desk. We are expecting, I did check the calendar, we are expecting Mitch to come through. So hopefully that will happen. I'll talk about their new event coming up and get some of his take on some of these plays. Looks like oil right now holding 76.50 on the top side there. So, all right, man, all good here today to start with. Markets kind of muted considering where we started from in the past couple of days. Both markets down about 1/3% today. Lots to look at, including, you know, the energies, the financials, and then obviously with the Broadcom report as well. That's giving a little bit of a bounce to the Nasdaq, although obviously we're getting faded.
Wish it was more.
Yeah, right now it's you know, it's a good thing that Broadcom's not down. You know,
Yeah,
like I still think it goes down from here, but I'm glad that it's up 6% because I just fear where it might be if it was the other way around. So. All right, let's go back over to the desk and get going, man. 2 minutes until, was it jobless claims?
And continuing.
Yeah, a few things coming through here. Let's run through them. Coming up at 8:30, we get import-export prices, initial jobless claims, again, going back to last week. This is a January import-export price print that we're going to get. Non-farm productivity, we get continuing claims as well for February 21st. That's really it. I mean, natural gas could be interesting today, given what has happened with not only gas prices, but oil as well over the past couple of days.
Great segue, because I was thinking about Kevin Warsh here. An article came out this morning about whether or not Kevin Warsh, you know, when he comes into the Fed chair in May, would continue with the rate cuts or, you know,
higher for longer.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So because you're going to get some inflation, at least in the short term, from oil, would the Fed then be willing to cut rates despite that headline number increasing? So it should be interesting to see what he does. But yeah, that was a debate today amongst analysts on whether he cuts or he stays.
Just a proxy from my neighborhood, 145 this morning.
Same.
Like that?
Same.
Just overnight, 10 cents?
You notice it tends to drop at night. So like I'll see it, say when I get to the gym around 3, because there's a gas station right in front of the gym.
Right.
It'll be like at the high. And then if I end up going out at night just to pick up something from Shoppers or whatever, I'll see it about 7, 8 pennies less.
Yeah.
So night's the move.
Yeah. Yeah, I fear that we go higher more before we come back down on this
Apparently,
move anyway.
Every $10,
For crude?
every $10 in the change of crude is about 10 cents in Canada. That's what one of the analysts was saying yesterday.
It's crazy.
We'll see.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, it used to be, these things used to move, 2, 3 cents at a time kind of thing, up or down. Now it's 10 or 20. All right, here we go. 0.6% on the export print there for January, 0.2% to the upside. Consensus was 0.3 and 0.2, so a little bit higher once again on the export side of things. We also get 213,000 on the initial jobless claims, consensus 215, 1.868 continuing claims, 1.84. Over here was the forecast, prior print there, 1.82. So a little bit of an uptick 2 weeks in a row here for continuing jobless claims. Still waiting on this. Import prices, negative 0.1 for January. Export prices taking their time there, but 2.7% was the last print. 3.1 was a prior story. Forecast is 2.7, so expecting a little bit of a down print. There it is, 2.6% comes through on the export side of things, but continuing claims, a little bit of an uptick there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really hate on that. Export prices up, import prices slightly down. I don't think that's that's not the number that's going to move us. Continuing claims was pretty close.
It's almost in line, like 18.6 versus 18.5.
Like it's.
So you got 18 different jobs
Like
out of, so it's
it's dead in line.
18.6. It's 1,868. So 1,868 versus 1,850. So there was 18 more jobless claims than expected. 18.
And we're right on.
So the market's not going to react
Not
to
doing
that.
anything.
And the export prices is interesting, 0.6 versus 0.3, so a double in the export prices. That seems to have maybe created the market to go a little bit to the downside there. Can't really wrap my head around why that would be a thing. Exporting more than importing, prices going higher. Okay, that would should be good. But I don't really think the market's reacting to anything there on that one. We're just trying to go a little lower here. Yeah, the numbers don't look that bad. U.S. non-farm productivity for Q4, 2.8 versus 1.9. So non-farm productivity higher. I don't know if that means the market should be going down here. If anything, maybe we're just reacting to the fact that maybe these numbers are slightly better than expected. So therefore, the interest rate discussion maybe gets pushed down a little bit more down the kick the can.
I mean,
I don't know. It could be another thing there. But I mean, with Warsh announced yesterday, that's going to get. I guess that's going to get approved, and then we see where Powell goes from there. Does he stay on or not? What's the story with Lisa Cook? And then it seems like June or July. What was it? You have it up now.
I'm just going to throw it because I think you got to go out to June.
It's definitely not March.
Yeah, because in June's now 30% for a cut.
Right.
If we let's go out to July. Okay, I mean, you're looking at 47, you add it all up there, and you get like 48%, I suppose. So let's call it 50-50 by July that we get the rate cut. But then I think it's instructive to look at December, because if you look at the end of the year, and at that point, like if we start pricing everything from this side over, then you're talking about 2 cuts. So that would be, I don't know, like 45, 46% chance, actually close to 50%. So it's almost 50-50 for 2 cuts if you go to July, and it's about 50-50 for 2 cuts, for 1 cut, for July, and then 50-50 for 2 cuts if you go to the end of the year, which is a bit of a drawback from where we were about a month ago, or at least a few weeks ago. Apparently we got a super chat, and it's David here. The reason Nvidia got punished on earnings was 3 words from Jay Fonzie. Compute equals revenue. Equals E equals MC squared. D-top. That truth flex really exposed the underbelly of the beast, so you're long Nvidia.
I was reading that. I was thinking that would be a reason to go short Nvidia, but
unless you're going counter trend there. And then we got another one from Nick. Where would you swing short A-Lab? 102 target. You know, I've every single time a question comes up for swing trades in the negative direction, I've never swung short in my personal account. I've made swing trades long. I own stocks. Day trading, obviously, day traders will go in either direction. It's kind of a different beast. But if you're just looking at the old technicals, well, you're under the 200 and 200 period moving average, I should say, in case anyone doesn't know what we're talking about there. And you're consolidating under prior support, which was resistance. And it just recently broke this local bottom. Usually, I'd want it holding in here if I was shorting that, I suppose, technically. But I've never really been much of a swing short kind of person. But yeah, it's trend down. You know, I can't really argue with that one for A-Lab there. But ultimately, that's just the technicals on Astera. I feel like wasn't there like a recent M&A story with them? You know what? There might not be. I don't want to speculate. But yeah, I understand what you're getting at there, Nick. It's not necessarily my cup of tea. I'd prefer it better if it held underneath that 120 resistance today, though. You know, kind of confirm that you're making that next leg down. Boys. Oh, I didn't realize Andre wasn't even at the desk. And I'm like, well, we can't.
Andre is literally by himself over there.
Yo, he's by himself. He's like running, fixing a camera, and then running back to change the shot.
Everything he possibly can.
He's quick on his feet. You see that? He had moves.
All right. I mean, I thought he could be a little bit quicker.
He's got moves.
No, he was good.
Oh, he's pretty quick.
He was good.
Probably
a former soccer player over there. We talked about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Brazil. I was actually looking at the BMO Stadium. It looks like hot garbage, man. That stadium. I'm just gonna tell everybody.
We're an embarrassment.
If you're going to the World Cup,
we're an embarrassment.
And you're in those extra seats, sell those extra seats immediately because that thing's coming down.
Have they seen
I was literally,
football fans?
I was literally right beside it the other day, and Gia's like, "That's what they built," and I'm just like, "Yeah, man, they added this." Somebody's in my ear right now. They added these, I don't know how many extra seats it is, 20,000 extra seats or something, right on the end. And it honestly feels like it's just being held up by like, I don't know, scaffolding. Like it does not look good. I'm no engineer. I'm sure it's completely safe. This is just food for thought here.
You could ask our boy.
One of our guys is actually responsible for this. Actually, I am going to ask him what the hell is going on with that.
Dude in our football pool.
But we saw like it was about 100 days to go or so until World Cup. And honestly, the stadium that was built here in Toronto seats about 20,000 people for the Argos and for the TFC. So our football team and both football teams, depending on what you call football.
It's football.
And it's just not going to be able to hold, in my opinion, the chaos that is coming for the World Cup. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be completely fine, and it's a beautiful part of town. It's right there on the lakeshore. It's right in the exhibition. It's a gorgeous situation, but they really. I feel like they rushed, and
I take it you won't be sitting in those bleachers.
That's what I said. I said I would sell those tickets immediately. I would just buy the ones that are in the stadium.
Yeah, just like sit in the actual seats.
I'm jealous as hell. Like if I had those tickets, trust me, I wouldn't sell them out.
Oh yeah, like chance to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, just sort of off the cuff talking there. Obviously, if I had those tickets, and I very, very much would want to go. It looks dangerous, and I don't know if anybody's traveling around. But Brendan, I heard your comment as soon as I said that. I guess you've seen it as well.
I was just telling Sharif, I drove along the Gardner through there the other day, and it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And the underside of the Gardner in front of the stadium is all torn apart. There's like crumbling concrete everywhere. Like it's embarrassing. It honestly looks like if someone sneezes on that thing, it's going to fall over.
And like you and I were talking about off camera, I would have liked to see the Sky Dome or the Rogers Center be included, but there's no grass, there's no natural grass there, and I think FIFA does have a rule. Unless you're north of a certain parallel, Brendo, like some of the Scandinavian countries, you can't have turf. Only if you're north of that parallel, or maybe even south. You get the exemption. So
they've been kicking the tires on putting grass in the Rogers Center for years.
It was supposed to be.
And I mean, FIFA has unlimited money, so maybe that was their opportunity to get that done finally. I mean, that was one of the reasons Bo Bichette ended up in New York.
What, because of the grass?
Because of the turf.
It's messing with his knee, isn't it? Yeah. Turf toe, and there's turf knee.
Anyways, we're making Mitch wait. Poor guy.
I'm sure he
takes 6 months to come back, and We're here just wasting his time in the morning. This guy's back again. Mitch Hoke from Trade the Pool.
I'm enjoying the sports talk. You know me. I enjoy sports talk all day. But
it's great to see you, my friend.
Guys out there, they start banging the hammer real quick.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, they've had so much time. This is what we're saying. Anyway, we could go on. It's great to see you. It's been a while. How's your year been so far?
Hey, can't complain. You know, one of the things that we were looking to see, would the defensive trade, of course, hold up for the year? That's, of course, held up, right? And then now it's actually taking the pullback. It's funny how that works, right? All that positioning in early is cashing in on this opportunity to get that gap up. And I think a lot of people cashed out in energy trades, of course, defensive trade, also just using that momentum to try to take that money and run.
I heard a really interesting narrative on the way in this morning that's kind of stuck in my head, and that is, you know, as you were saying, from the beginning of the year, essentially, it's been about energy, it's been about the defensive names, it's been about everything literally other than the mega cap tech stocks. But
yeah,
are we starting to see a little bit of a shift here, maybe back toward what is old is new again? Maybe, you know, you saw Kathy Wood was in there buying up a whole bunch of Amazon yesterday. A lot of these names are getting to levels finally that might be really interesting here for big money.
Yeah, Kathy Wood buying always scares me, but if I'm just looking at the rotation, I'll focus on that, and I definitely am looking at it. You can see it, right? What did we need to do, right? Well, the war situation did two things, right? It definitely brought eyes elsewhere, and it also started to stabilize the AI disruption trade, right? We were seeing it hit the software names. We were seeing it hit also financials and the credit services and the asset management. Now, software has really structured up, and we got to continue to watch today to see if you get breakouts, right? The structure is now there. You got bottoms all around, whether you're looking at, you know, AppLovin, ServiceNow, CRM, you can go. The list is long, right? But the key now is that now you have that structured bottom that you can start to risk off of. And we started to break a lot of like ascending triangles on the way up. So that's horizontal lines, right, that you're starting to get above and hold, like App's big breakout yesterday, pure example. But I'm really starting to look to see, does this start to help us see the shift back to growth? And one of the trades that I've been seeing is, of course, I've been banging the hammer about the defensive trade and value names, but starting to see that consumer staple trade turn. If you look at the XLP, of course, you're starting to see that quick downturn now. So with that being just starting into play, are we starting to see a shift come out of value and going back into growth? And the question now remains, where does it go, right? What growth is it looking for? Is it in more speculative growth, you know, the euphoria names that we were seeing, or are we going to more high quality growth, going back to the mega cap rotation? That's what I'm looking at. And I talked about it on my Twitter, looking to see if we start to see a Mag 7 kind of shift. These are the names that are down the most, right, for the year, right? These big worry names. Well, a lot of times those worries just start to climb the wall of worry. And that's what I'm seeing the stocks do right now. We're climbing that AI worry, and we're using the war actually as a backstop and a distraction away from the AI disruption trade, and that can clearly lift the boats. Now, the one trade that hasn't really taken off is that asset management trade. So that'd be kind of like my caveat to keep an eye open to see what happens in financials. But I think you're starting to see the strength. You saw it in Microsoft yesterday. You saw it in Amazon. You saw it in Meta. Google was still green. The only one that wasn't green in the Mag 7 was Apple. And why would that be not green? Well, that's kind of been considered your value mega cap, right? And that's your value trade that's starting to fall off. And the hardware trade has really fallen off. If you look at consumer electronic names, those names were really ripping 2 weeks ago. They were the favorites. Now they're starting to get hit hard. Rotation can be fast, and I always think you got to be quick with rotation. You can't just get stuck in names that the same way that we can get stuck in tech names, right? So you always got to go with the flow. And now the flow is slowly shifting towards more of that growth. You also saw yesterday cyclicals up. It's nothing that I want to jump into, but it's telling me more and more we're slipping into growth. Another big area to watch here is not just mega cap and tech, but watch to see the big healthcare names start to lift. There's a lot of names setting up in the XLV.
LLY, I saw you had on your list here. Still, if you zoom out, I mean, a weekly chart looks fantastic. Still hanging out here at, I mean, this thing's still $1,000, which is crazy, but definitely long-term support. Talk a little bit about this one.
Yeah, you're using monthly, weekly, and daily levels here right underneath it, right? Everyone's been seeing that 1,000. We might get that kind of undercut and rally today. Full disclosure, I do have a position on. I'm closer to 10.4, but watching this trade. And I really do think that this is one of those trades that could get it started, right? We had more conversations of this morning trying to get more GLPs to, of course, employers so they can get those benefits to their employees, right? Well, we'll see how that kind of affects things. Really, this is more of a matter no longer about the GLPs. I think that's kind of baked into the stock. I think what you need to start looking to see is how their pipeline develops in 2026. They have a new Alzheimer's drug that's going to be coming out. We don't know exactly when this will be released, but it's expected to come in 2026. And I expect that to be the next driver here as we continue to see further action. So also in healthcare, there's a couple of big boys that I'd continue to watch. The XLV is pretty much being held back by anchors in the sector. Of course, what's the anchor space? The anchor is healthcare plans, right? Your UNH, your Cigna, your Alliance Health. Those are the ones that have been holding back healthcare. But now you're starting to see the anchors start to lift. And as the anchors start to lift, that gives the ability for the ETF to now start to see clear skies above and start to break out, right? Especially when you're on this nice sideways trend, right? We've been in an about 4-month sideways trend here in healthcare, and I'm looking to see, do we start that next drive? Just to give you guys another major drug manufacturer to keep an eye out for, AVG has been one of my favorite charts. I put it out as a chart of the day 2 weeks ago, and it's starting to really develop above a nice trend line break. So these are names that you can continue to watch in the space. And overall, drug manufacturers, the big ones, are the ones that I'm seeing the lift start to come back into.
Great stuff, as always. Mitch Hoke, what's new over at Trade the Pool?
There's always things going on at Trade the Pool, guys. Now the big thing is, of course, the market madness. Of course, March is the craziest month of the year. I always talk about it. The energy just gets hyped. There's so much going on in sports and the markets. Everything is really kind of popping off. So we have Market Madness 2026. It's all about picking a board. Yeah, some basketball players, essentially. We got a starting 5. You get to pick a coach. If you want, you can just pick me and pick the stocks that I pick, and that way you can go ahead. If I win the comp, you win a 5K eval. Another way to go about it is you pick your own core 5. So now we're talking some front office energy. You get $1 million in a virtual portfolio. You get 5 stock picks and only one rule. You can only pick one from the Mag 7. So that gives you an opportunity, of course, to getting after it and winning and becoming your own champion slayer. Take a look into it, guys. You guys can go to our website to sign up tonight. Right after, actually, our stream today. We're going to do it at 12 p.m. Eastern. Is a live draft. And we'll talk about, of course, tip-off on March 16th. That leads into, of course, championship week into March 30th. It's a month-long gauntlet that you guys don't want to miss out. And if you create your own team, and that's what I want to see. I want to see some ultimate team come out of here. Trader TV. I know that you guys have tons of traders in the chat that kind of trade together and kind of stick together as a team. So why don't you guys make an ultimate team? You get double the prize if you do this, and you go and battle Money Mitch here. Let me see what you guys got out there in the chat. I want to see if you guys want to take the prize. And trust me, I'll bow down. Just show me it. Go show me your skills, guys, and get out to the Market Madness 2026.
I'm sure there's a few around here that would take you up on that, definitely. Mitch Hoke, great to have you back, first of all. It's been a while, so great insight.
You know how I am. There's always a little added bonus. I'll give you the ones to watch, the ones that have been shaky, the metals and minerals. What happens here? Because that's the big question here if you want to see that trade kind of take off. You saw a really nice move to the upside in a lot of these, and then quick whoosh down just this week, right? Do they pick right back up? I'll give you names to look at. UAMY, names that we've talked about. Quad U, I remember I was bringing this up at $8, but we won't get into that conversation. And USAR, right? CCJ, UEC, the uranium trade. Watch for those to get hot again. I think they had a nice little washout where they stopped out a lot of early bulls this week. Now you can pick that right back because they're scared of getting in. We'll see if we see some further pickup there. And of course, SQM at 35, now trading 71. I'm gonna keep telling you boys, like I told you guys in October, that pick isn't for me. It might be for your kids, right? One to put away in the books.
Great stuff, Mitch. Thanks.
Have a good one, traders. Get after it. Trade the pool.
Yeah, I'd probably win that market madness, so I don't know. We'll see what's... All right, let's get right into things and see what we got some of these. Oh, all right, my guy. Right on. No, let's take a look at some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with OKTA. We heard Brendo and Sharif talking about this earlier this morning, but we have Morgan Stanley lowering its price target here, guys, from $110 to $101. It's still positive here this morning, 1 3/4%. Now, as for Rigetti Computing reporting last night as well, too, getting its price target lowered from $50 to $43 by Mizuho, you're down almost 5% here this morning. Now, Grocery Outlet down 25% in the pre-market, guys. Price target being lowered from $15 to $9, and a market perform rating by Telsey Advisory Group. Now, Service Titan also getting its price target lowered from $125 to $108. You're down 0.4%, and that price target, the lowering target, is by BMO Capital. Moving forward, we'll take a look at some of the upgrades here. Broadcom at the top of the list, $510, getting that price target raised to $545. You're up almost 7% this morning by Truist, so not too bad of a look whatsoever. Strong momentum move yesterday. Even though we missed on EPS, American Eagle Outfitters down 3 1/5. Price target being raised from 24 to 25 by Citi. Once again, you are negative here. Apple also getting the nod, getting its price target rate, nothing substantial, from 267 to 268 by Rosenblatt. Slightly negative here this morning. And MongoDB getting the upgrade as well, too. You're up a little bit more than 0.4. $310 is that price target. It initially was $275. Scotiabank giving them that target raise.
Hey, there's Joey Options, always confident for sure. You know what? I know Mitch. We saw Apple's there. We saw Apple there in the upgrades and the downgrades, and Mitch was, saying in part of the rotation, hey, when we go back into our AI and growth type names in tech, sometimes the insulated names like this, like an Apple, can go a little bit to the wayside. But you know what? That's the kind of thing that can provide an opportunity. You fall too far, and then maybe this drops under a 30 PE. If that happens, maybe we see the 200-period moving average. Like, I think oftentimes we always think about rotation as, okay, well, what do I need to get into right now to catch that? But the other side of the coin is, okay, well, what might you like that could be falling out of favor, and where's my opportunity to maybe catch that on a bid? Like, I think there's a chance to be able to look at this the other way, if this ends up being true. I mean, Apple's flat on the day. It's not like it's even doing anything. It's slightly better than the market, if anything. But this would be a name that if it were to drop down, they had a good Q. We know later on in the year we'll get in that update. I think we're expecting summer that we get this big new Siri. So you still have some time for that. And if it wants to pull back into the 200 period because of whatever reason, if it ends up being some kind of rotation, fine, so be it. It doesn't really matter at that point. I think this could be a good one to pick up, especially if it does drop under that 30p. I think once you get into the 20s here, and especially even the mid-20s, if it drops like 15, 20% or so, that would be great. So yeah, well, it would be one on the watch. And just because things fall out of favor, you can't always think of that as a bad thing. You can like it if it's something that you want to dip by.
I was, thanks for Mitch. Great to have him back. Some great insights, obviously. It's great to have Mitch back and great insights. I was just going to say this XLV is something that we've been looking at for a minute, so it's nice to see him talking about some of those anchors and the healthcare names and healthcare providers starting to be lifted up and seeing some green skies. We saw yesterday blue skies ahead. We did see green skies, green profit, hopefully for blue skies. We did see Oscar yesterday up about 10%, so that's probably helping the space as well. Not that that's a big part, if anything, in the XLV at all, but just for the space. So I have liked XLV for a long time, and I just think it's a safe play. It's, you know, with the aging population, and I mean, we don't need to talk about why healthcare is important. Obviously, a big political, you know, space as well that goes back and forth on that. So with midterms, I mean, I don't know enough about all that, but could go through some stuff. But I like XLV. I prefer the XBI and IBB though, the biotech rather than the healthcare space. But yeah, and AbbVie has been one that this is probably one of the oldest health tech kind of names that I've held for longest. And it's really starting to break. So we really like that one as well. Trying to take out some nice highs. AbbVie really working. I remember when they bought out whoever the Botox maker was, maybe 7 or 8, maybe plus years ago. And that's sort of, I was in it before then, and then that was a nice little boon to it. And so we'll have to wait for AbbVie. Interesting to hear about Eli Lilly too, and some of the drugs that are coming in the pipeline. I think Mitch said he was long at what, 1040? So yeah, a little bit of a downside trend now. And we looked about this yesterday, trying to break here, Eli Lilly. I don't think it's right time to buy this name at these levels. You know, we've seen dramatic moves, and this could easily retrace back. It's not like there's anything changing. This right here, when they start to sell it, they sell it, and then you can tell when the tide turns. And right now, this to me looks like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 days, only one has been an up day in the last 9. So I think, like, although it's not as pronounced as this move down, it's still getting us to the same level. So you really want to see something being held here around 980. That's sort of the level that you'd want to see now for Eli Lilly. But all right, man, it's 8:55. Was great to have him back. Check out Trade the Pool. Link in description. It's all over the place. Scan that QR code to get part of Real Trading as well. But yeah, really like most of those names. And I didn't get a chance next time. We'll talk to him about SoFi.
Oh, that's right. So,
yeah, I meant to. I should have told Brendan to throw him over here, and I would ask him about it. But next time, we'll do that with SoFi and some of those bank names, because he did like it when it was up there around 29, 30 bucks. Yeah, so I want to ask him what his thoughts are about SoFi moving forward. But okay, Mike DeRider is back in the chat, so that's nice. Nice to see everybody there. Get in the chat immediately. Hit subscribe, be part of the community. It's the best. Neil and I look up there all the time, probably too much, to see what you guys are up to. So let us know, get in that chat immediately. And we'll go back to the desk, man. It's 8:56 right now. We can start our rundown, look at the futures, and just start this day off right. Half hour till bell opens.
People mentioning TTD, we'll talk about it again, but yeah, if you zoom out, it's not that great of a situation still on the higher time frame, but a deal with OpenAI for the digital advertising. So that was the note for TTV. BTAI, another one moving around. Yeah, gonna have to do better than a weekly chart for that one, I guess. There was a headline for BTAI this morning, but why don't we have a look at the market, and then we'll talk about all of these.
Look at this, guys. We remember, I wasn't here yesterday, so I didn't do the futures, but we certainly held that area support that we got into back on the 6th of February. We held that on the 3rd. Obviously had a much better day yesterday, but we are still very much stuck in that range. The only thing that I can really see in terms of a trend are these higher lows, which does concern me a little bit. And when you also look at the low areas of the SPY, we're also putting in minor lower lows. So something to be on the lookout for there. In any event, we closed out yesterday at around 685, a little bit higher than 685 on the SPY, with the overnight high just glancing at 686. We're losing it right now. We're at 682.5. So we're going to say that 681 area, Brendo. A lot of the 4-hour candles found support there. Sorry, resistance. So we'll look for 681 as support. If we catch a bid, we're looking to yesterday's high, 687 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, below in the description is free stuff for you. Second link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Has all of your homework done for you every single day. Everything that's moving around in the pre-market, and a little on why for each. Then you come join us at 8 o'clock. We get you ready for the open every single day. Biggest earnings name after the close yesterday. There's a few of them, but this one, Broadcom, to the upside, initially was actually downside after the close, but That quickly reversed, pushes all the way through to 342 at the high. Coming in a hurry here right now, though, from Broadcom.
Yeah, it's still stuck within that range when you look at the daily, Brendo, even though the report was fantastic. It was a beat everywhere. EPS 205, beating the 203. Revenue 19.31, beating the 19.18, and a 29% year-over-year increase on revenue. Net income, they took substantially more money home than they did last year, $7.35 billion compared to the $5.5 billion in profitability last year on the quarter. They're continuing to grow that AI-related revenue, which surged 106% year-over-year, now up to $8.4 billion. Of course, fueled by demand for their custom AI accelerators as well as networking, guys. They do that as well. CEO Huck Tan said the company has clear visibility to $100 billion in annual AI revenue by 2027. And Brendo, we know that they play a critical role in helping hyperscalers convert their own custom chip designs into production silicon. Customers designing their own chips include like the biggest of the big, man. Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, they're all increasing their own AI processors. And here's the guide. It's a strong forward guide. $22 billion in revenue for the upcoming quarter. That's ahead of the 20.56 expected with adjusted profit margin. Not Nvidia numbers, Brendo, in the 70s, but high 60s. Can't complain, 68%.
Definitely not. As you mentioned, still kind of chopping around in this mess right at the highs here after the huge move higher on a weekly time frame, but still constructive here, definitely, guys, for Broadcom.
Yeah, well, it looked a lot better when we sat down this morning, or yeah, certainly. It's still up 4% or 4.5%, but as Brendan mentioned, you're going into a little bit of chop. There's really nothing bad that you can say there, and it's a good competitive advantage that all of these hyperscalers do want to focus on, to a certain extent, on their custom chips. That could be good for them. You could maybe spin that as a slight negative for Nvidia, but I don't know. That's reading too much into it. But this 340 to 350 zone, the sellers have been winning, and yeah, it's hard to argue with the fact that that's not still true, because that's exactly where we started this fall from. I feel like it will be difficult at the open to pick where this might bounce. I'm going to stay away from Broadcom today, but I feel as if we do fill in the entirety of the gap, that could be a bit of a bounce zone. I think there will be dip buyers in this. It had a very similar pattern to Nvidia going into the earnings, where you did have a very defined range. So if you let it drop to the bottom, it's just looking at Nvidia, if you let it drop to the bottom of the range after the report, you caught the bounce, and it was pretty good. It just took a couple of days, right? So I think the same thing, if we come back in, and if we see Broadcom at $310 on Monday, that would be a nice place to try to scoop it up off earnings, or maybe even the 200 period moving average. But yeah, starting to close in the gap here. The old take profits on a strong quarter, looks like it's coming true once again. It just didn't happen right away.
All right, I'll give you tomorrow's play today, okay? So forget about Broadcom. Marvell, all right, they're going to report tonight. These guys are second place next to Broadcom. Their PE is half of what Broadcom's is. So if you're looking for value, you're looking for something. Broadcom's PE 66, Marvell's 28. And, you know, these guys create their own custom, they create custom chips. Fabless as well, the second place for wired and wireless connectivity. If that's going to be a good report for Broadcom, look out for Marvell. They're obviously not, you know, dripping the way these other stocks are. They're underneath the 50-period moving average, so it's not like this is absolutely soaring or anything like that. And yeah, man, obviously full disclosure, I own a decent amount of Marvell, and I really like the stock, and I bought it last time on the dip, and I think we'll try to do that again if there is a dip down. I like the space. I think this is the guts as far as you know, all these data centers are concerned. Like we had mentioned there, the connectivity. They made a purchase a couple quarters back. We'll see if that can accrue this quarter. I like it. It's holding the 200 period. It's holding the 76, 75 area. And on that note, Marvell will probably be down 20% tomorrow. But I like it. I think there's reason to watch out for Marvell today. And like we said, man, trading stocks same day is a problem sometimes because you don't know exactly what big money wants to do. But right now it looks like, for me, underneath VWAP, underneath the 50, looks like it wants to break the 200 period moving average. Unfortunately for everybody, I think Broadcom's coming into like 320 or so right here to test what we did yesterday. That would be quite the move down, and I do believe that because it was such a good quarter, you will bounce back up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Broadcom up that 3 or 4% today. It's been a sell-off story open for many of these earnings plays. So feel like it is going to sell off, find a base, and then rip. So we just got to make sure that we keep Broadcom on our mind today, and I will trade it, but just not in the first 5 or 10 minutes. You could get that major move down, and then, Kathy Wood or somebody, I'm just using her as an example from Amazon, comes in and says, you know what, that was a good quarter, and it needs to get back up to where it's been, right? And so so I guess it does look like Marvell a little bit holding that 200 period there, but it was underneath, and then now you're getting that boost up just into a nice little level there. Ideally, you'd like to go long once we break 360, but that will happen tomorrow on Marvell's earnings.
Let's go on to Robinhood. Back to the downside along with AVGO. Currently, the overall market kind of trending down as well. But interesting story, interesting couple of days here for Robinhood. What was it, $695 a year?
Yeah. What is
credit card coming from Robinhood?
Amex Platinum prices, or is it not? Isn't it pretty close to that? Isn't it?
You're asking the wrong guy, my friend.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I think it's $800, Brendo. All right, guys, this is a good push from Robinhood to really diversify revenue away from trading specific names, whether it's equities or crypto, of course, and to get into that kind of recurring SaaS theme. And they introduced a new Platinum credit card. It's tied to Robinhood Gold subscription. As you mentioned, Brendo, $695. But the company says you're going to get about $3,000 in total yearly benefits. I don't know if you use all of them. I probably wouldn't. I was reading through all this. There's some stuff I'm not going to use here.
Yeah, of course.
The announcement is part of Robinhood's bigger effort to deepen engagement with what they're calling their higher value clients. A large bundle of consumer perks totaling about $3,000. You're getting travel benefits, subscription credits, lifestyle discounts. Some of the things you're getting here, you're going to get $250 in DoorDash credits. You're going to get $120 credit for autonomous ride hailing. $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah, in TSA pre-check credit, but that's only every 4 years. So some stuff. It feels like an Amex Platinum card.
Some of these, I don't know about this one, obviously, but some of these credit card deals now are just getting out of control. I mean, I thought it was insane. I think I'm paying $300 right now for a year.
Yeah.
For the one I have, and for what you get for that, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it anymore.
Not worth it.
And I remember you and I were talking about this. Remember the Amex Platinum credit card? You were able to get in to all the airline lounges, and you didn't really have to spend too much money on it. Now they're wise to it. They're like, no. If you get 3 per year, or 3 or 4 per year, unless you're spending $10,000 or $20,000, I forget the quantum, $10,000 or $20,000 a year on it. If you spend that much, we'll give you unlimited. If you don't, you only get 3.
I mean, the market did move on that this morning, or Robinhood anyways, did move on that this morning, although we have given most of that back here, guys. Still a pretty good looking chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard this morning to find something that hasn't been sliding back down with the futures here. And Robinhood falls into that category. And look, they want to get some differentiated clientele. They want to expand their services so that they can become the all-in-one, so that they can compete with the big boys. I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. I've been sitting around thinking about where I'd want to put some more money back into SoFi from selling some at the top. And you know what? Looking at this chart, I think I'm going to take a portion of that and put it into Robinhood at lunchtime today. And it has. I remember when it was at $150, I was like, it just never dips and I never get a chance to buy it. Well, it just got cut in half. It just got cut in half. It did a consolidation on this weekly chart, and now you're breaking consolidation. So I do like the look of this chart here for Robinhood, no questions asked. When we look at the 15 for today, outside of the afternoon support at 81.5, and you closed at $82, so that would be a bit of a dip zone. That could be a place to play. I feel like if we get that kind of a dip, we're talking about crypto a little bit later. I'll probably be on IBIT and BM&R looking to see if we can play a secondary long if we get that far to the downside, because I want to test that 70,000 support that we have in Bitcoin. But I think it's a similar play to look at Robinhood after prior support. You're already through the prior high. There's no breakouts in sight. The chart wants to be a breakout. above this like 88, 89 area. It's just, we're not getting that today. So I think you just got to be patient for some dip buys. I think letting the opening range go could be a good way to sit out some chop in some of these names this morning, especially when they seem strong and now we're getting this little bit of a sell-off. I think we could have a bit of a choppy first 15, 20.
I was telling Adara before when this was on the list that, we had made the call down there at 70. I kind of really like that. And like what Neil was saying there, I think there's room now. I don't have Robinhood in the account either. I think there's probably room for it. It's just not, it's been a nice move upside right there. You're paying up 20% from where it was a week and a half ago. Like that seems to be a lot. Like if this name was 70, let's say 71 bucks, now we just talked out to 85. So you had 14 bucks on 70. So you are talking 20% in like 7 or 8 trading days. Too far for me. I like it. Let's pull back. I won't be buying anything at lunch, but I do think this 75 buck area or so, if we can retrace back to where we were yesterday, then maybe we take a little bit and a little bit of a shot there on Robinhood just to get some more financial exposure, right? I mean, I'm like I said, I'm in SoFi, JP Morgan, and small into Goldman Sachs. So I think there's room for Robinhood. I'm not too excited. I mean, I don't know, like you pay 700 bucks up front, and then you get like a couple benefits that you're gonna pay for anyways, part of that like the DoorDash 200 bucks, I mean, that's fine. So that brings the price down from 700 to 500. And then what was there? It was another 100 bucks in something that you might use there. I think it was ride hailing. So that puts it back down. And then, for me, it would be I put absolutely everything on the credit card. So every month, the credit card bill is whatever, $1,000 or whatever it is. Obviously, it's way more than that. But if you get 2 or 3% back on that, that also adds up. So it'd be interesting to hear if there was anything on the credit card that was a...
Yeah, like, give me my percentage back, man.
Yeah, like
keep it simple.
Yeah, like I have 1% on everything and then 4% on groceries and gas. And it's just it's a Visa that has some sort of perks there through my bank. But there's other ones too. I know Wealthsimple, I saw Trader6 in the chat and I asked him why, but Wealthsimple, I believe, and I didn't read your response yet, I think they give 3% back here in Canada, no questions asked.
3% on everything, no
yeah,
questions. Yeah,
or it's 2%, it's one of those, I'll have to look it up.
3 on everything's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So if it's 3 on everything and you do 10,000 a month on your card, so that's 120 a year, 3% back on that, you're getting $4 grand.
It's 2.
Oh, yeah, whatever it is.
2% on everything.
2%, okay, so 2% on, 2% on everything, 120 a year would be 2,400 bucks. Get back.
Yeah.
So that's part of the benefit of those kind of cards. I'm sure this Robinhood card is the same thing. There has to be a % back, right? Or else why would anybody do it, I guess? I mean, for traveling, like Sharif said too, there's insurance and all that also helps with different credit cards. So, yeah, but anyways, do your research. I'm sure there's lots of websites out there that compare all the credit cards.
Oh, you could literally, forget about websites, man. Now we just go into Gemini and ask.
Oh, yeah, well, like anything like that.
Could ask me now.
Yeah. Oh, there it is, 3%. So someone just said Nick Stocks there says that he's got, here, I can put it up. Here it is. I don't know if this is true or not.
Oh, there we go.
You guys can tell me. He has the Hood Gold card, so I guess that's similar to this. Like 3% on everything. Yeah, there it is, 10K a month. That's similar to what I do.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and 3% would be monstrous. I think 300 bucks times 12, you don't put 3,600 bucks in your pocket, pay for flights that year. Yeah. But then there are cards that, again, if you do 10,000 a month, you probably get $4,000 worth of flights or something anyways. Yeah, good. Thanks, guys, for all that. And I don't know how much the gold card costs, but, there's always a small fee for all of this.
You know who can afford this new Hood card? The CEO of Trade Desk. But you know what? He's too busy buying stock.
Yeah, it depends if he has stock that has to hit a certain level because those prices are nowhere near where they need to be. But we'll go back to the desk and find the story here about the Trade Desk.
Just took out the highs, first of all. Looks great right now. 31 was a bit of a problem initially when it first tested it this morning. Just took that out and then some. I mean, this could be a long-term deal, which I think is the part of this arrangement with OpenAI that the market's liking anyways. There's really no significant details as to how this will work, any kind of monetization or anything along those lines, but This company specifically, the trade desk, needs something like this.
It's exactly that point. I think that that's what the market's focusing on, that OpenAI has actually selectively chosen the trade desk to do business with. There are so many others, right? Let's talk about this. So after reports, the stock is up big after reports that OpenAI has held discussions with the company about selling ads within ChatGPT. This was first published in The Information, and it suggests OpenAI may look to leverage the trade desk's digital advertising platform. In case you don't know what they do, they specialize in programmatic advertising technology. They help companies buy and manage digital ad sales within their platform. Neither company confirmed the report, Brendo, and when contacted, Trade Desk basically declined to comment. We know OpenAI is recently announced plans to begin testing advertisements in ChatGPT within the United States, specifically targeting, though, the free and the Go subscription tier. So if you're paid, like us here on the floor, we won't see it initially, and we're not in the United States, obviously. Introducing ads, obviously, would be a major shift for ChatGPT. And let's be honest about it, a company that needs more revenue, Brendo, because they're burning through cash.
Yeah, I was reading, we were just talking about it. I was reading an article this morning that said they surpassed 25 billion in annual revenue. Yeah. But they're still burning hundreds of billions, in cost. We're in this gap. If you zoom out a little bit, we're in this gap right now. If you go back to February or just above that, I guess. But I mean, this thing still looks terrible, obviously, on a higher time frame, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I mean, come on. Like when you're down like 60, 70% from local highs, and I'm calling local because it gets worse. I'm just talking about like last year's high, but it's even worse if you zoom it out further here. These percentages, it'll be easier to attain. You can get 25% when you're down that much because it's not going to have to do as much. The bad news in this case would be like you're right at the 50 period on the daily, which has been resistance. So I'm inclined to think and put in the note that I'd rather be trying to dip buy into that resistance. Unfortunately, as the market was dipping, well, good if you own this thing. This has been holding VWAP and going. So instead of, hey, let's look at that support at the 29.5 to 30, it might have to be a VWAP type of play. But the opening, we're at 15 minutes to the open. A lot can happen in 15 minutes on a stock that's moved as much as the trade desk. So certainly there is a chance that we could still dip even further. If it starts filling in the gap, I don't want any part of that kind of nonsense. If you're not holding the established support, this is a good one to be patient with and maybe wait for that, like 10 o'clock every now and then. If even a bullish stock, if it's just chopping everybody up under VWAP, when it reestablishes, it can be really good. I'm trying to think of what was Bitcoin was. We'll talk about Bitcoin in a second, but that was like IBIT was an example of that. Like it's on the way back in initially off the open. It was right when it started to hold VWAP that it started to get good again. So if you see something like that on the trade desk, that's what I'll be looking for. TTD. Not going to look for the short. It's one of the few names that is actually sustaining its upward move so far today.
All right, like I was about to make the same call I made on Coinbase yesterday on Trade Desk, and it was just, we broke the pre-market high already of 31 bucks. Like that was going to be the play there, breaking that high, because yesterday we saw Coinbase start to rally, and yesterday it was just the futures with the proxy of Bitcoin was going to the high side there, and we had seen Coinbase kind of just, at least I noticed, that it was kind of just hovering here in the pre-market, and it was like if Bitcoin was going to go, then we had that bump up there possibility, and we mentioned it, breaking that high from 197, and then it just took off. But missing that trade is one thing. It's tough to get it in the open, right? I mean, the spread is very spready off the open. Liquidity can be sparse. But it was the pullback into VWAP, into the 50, into the 200 that wound up giving us just as good of a trade. And, for the trade desk, if you're looking at something like that, then yeah, I mean, I really like this 31 break. It's already happened. So what about a little bit of a pullback in? We need to go a little more. Like I like to see this thing get to 33 bucks or something like that, and then pull back in. And at that point, we'll try to use the 50 or the 25 period. So that's gonna be my play right now. I am looking long in the trade desk today, especially if we can get a move back into VWAP and then blast from there. So the trade desk for me will be a long today. We just got to make sure we watch it and get in at the right prices. So the trade desk, I like the stock today. And I was going to say a 31 break with momentum, but as you can see here, the market is also, unlike crypto yesterday in the, wow. It's just so crazy because today, like I told you I was a little uncertain of what was going on. And then we had said Intel short 45.50. You know, Intel was at 45.30 when I wrote that down. Intel's now at 44.90. The TQs was at $50 when I wrote this down. That's why we did 50 to 50.25. It's now at 49.30. It's now down $1. The Amazon long is the one that could fill out for us. And then we had the silver. We'll talk about silver not on this rundown, but when we come back to us. I like that short as well near 75.50. And I don't even know where silver is right now, but market's moving downside here in the pre and not giving me any entries right now. Yeah, so, you know, like we're writing this down, this break of silver. What do I have? 75.50, 76. So, and that was before we went on air. So that was right here. We liked the short, you know, right before we came on air, and then it collapsed. So, yeah, still looking at these levels for silver. I don't know. People always dare me to short it. We'll see what winds up happening today. We had a good trade yesterday on it, and we'll be back on it today as well. So, all right, 9:20 or so. Let's go talk about crypto and what's been happening today. A little bit of a slide. I don't know.
A little bit, like everything.
Yeah, monster day yesterday. If you just bring up the ETF or any of the main cryptocurrencies, you'll see the chart holding up here, which is part of the story, I think, today, not immediately giving all of that back, as we've seen with a few other things, including oil.
Yeah, and this is the first time in months that Bitcoin and crypto in general has outperformed gold.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that, as I mentioned, for months. Surging 12% since Friday. Guys, while gold has fallen about 2% in the same amount of time, and investors poured about $700 million in these crypto ETFs. Until this week, the trend has been the opposite. Gold repeatedly hit record prices, while Bitcoin tumbled more than 40%, as we know, from that $126,000 high we put back in October. The shift is signaling, though, a change in safe haven dynamics. Bitcoin appeared to be stable relative to the other assets during the initial Iran sell-off. So we'll have to see if this lasts or whether it has more to do with President Trump's tweet a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Whether or not we can hold up here is a different question, though, Neil.
Yeah, it's a good question. But you know what? We always talk about when you want things trading in a new range sometimes to get a little bit more action, and that's what we're doing here. I mean, Bitcoin's at 72.4, so we're above the 70K mark. You look at IBIT here, there's your consolidation, there's your breakout. Yesterday was a good long. We showed it off of VWAP there on the first initial push down. But it's actually going back to like this day, if we're looking at the start of the week, right? You had that big rally, and then the following day, it was a gap down. It's not totally dissimilar, but it was a gap down where you filled the range into like the prior breakout levels. So if you're looking at that today, like that's in and around the 40.5. So I'm like the first place is to look around that level for a dip buy to hold on to the structure here in IBIT. And then the other place that I've been trading is in BMNR. Now, notably, this is weaker when crypto's weak and stronger when it's strong. So if we go ham today, this would have been the one that would have been a setup for a breakout style play. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I'm just going to throw that one out there. If the long ends up getting dip and rip, and then we get another strong day out there for crypto, then BMNR breaking its consolidation to the upside. It's such a long consolidation down here that this is set up pretty well through that 22. It's pretty unlikely. So dip buy on IBIT is the first place that I'm going to be looking. And then obviously if BMNR goes ham, I think there's that chance that it can break out. But that's how I want to look at crypto today. We talked a little bit about Robinhood. I just wanted to show how quiet this is right now on the imbalances. I know we have 8 minutes to go, and we'll get some bigger NASDAQ names coming through in like 4 minutes, but there's nothing over 300,000. I feel as if like we've been slowly sliding down in the futures here. There's not a heck of a lot in terms of the imbalances really popping up. So I feel like we could be in for a choppy open, and more patience than normal could be required at this open. That's just the feeling that I'm getting today. We'll see if that ends up bearing out, but all quiet on the locator, really indescript selling, even in almost everything, including almost everything that was strong. So yeah, patience off the open is going to be key.
As crypto is concerned, I am thinking short for IBIT again, just because of what the market's been doing. We've seen, the Nasdaq have some nice runs of late, and today it looks like it wants to give it back. I mean, the trend is definitely going this way as we have, higher lower highs being made as we speak. And, you know, same kind of thing looks like this for IBIT. So if the market's going to keep doing this, it's almost an identical looking pre-market chart between the two of them. So I'm looking short. We always use a 200 period as our level. So 41.30 to 41.50 would be the area to sort of get into this name. But I think it's best put, and I didn't even look at the locator, I'm glad that Neil just did, to maybe just wait. There's not that much action on here at all, so good point there. And then BMNR, I don't know if we looked at that or not, but this would be the same type of thing. I'm assuming, I haven't looked, yeah, so this trend is still going this way on BMNR. So until we get that all figured out, I would be short. And then yesterday's monster play, of course, with Coinbase. Again, like everything's falling back in, so I would look for 200 bid on Coinbase to come through again. So if crypto does fall down, if the market does make a move, you know, there's the 200 base where we fell back into and basically, you know, was supported down there yesterday. So there's the big move up that we talked about earlier. Then it gave back half of it, stopped at 200 and went. So I know 200's a little ways away, but we were just at 206 at close. So can this go down $5, $6 from here and find a base? I think so. So yeah, I mean, I like all these names, but I like them a little lower there today, as until that Nasdaq changes course, I'm going to be going short.
Yeah, we were just talking about the state of finance as a job, and not only that. I mean, like software engineers fall into this category. Everything. I think we're just talking about the cost of living. Anyway, let's talk about tech. Microsoft, a couple of good days here, back to the upside. I mean, any of these, you're going to see the same more or less on the chart. Google, Mitch was mentioning Google as one to watch today. Maybe we finally get through that 305, but I mean, maybe we start to see this shift back to, you know, some of these names we haven't talked about for a while.
Yeah, Nvidia is one I'm looking at today, to Brendo, because of the headline that they have with China. Guys, Nvidia is reportedly halting production of its H200 AI chips, which are destined for China. The company has shifted manufacturing capacity now at Taiwan Semiconductor's production facility away from the H200, and now they're focusing on the Vera Rubin, or what is it called? The Vera Rubin AI hardware, which is their next gen after Blackwell, of course. The move signals Nvidia may not expect meaningful H200 sales into China in the near term. They recently said, though, that they had received licenses from the Department of Commerce to go ahead and ship these, and now all of a sudden now we're getting a production shift. So to me, I didn't think that the American regulator was the problem here. President Trump made it clear that they had the license from the U.S. Department of Commerce. I thought the problem was the Chinese, because they don't want them relying on American tech, and they've been floating around rumors that they're hacked and whatever. Now you're getting the Department of Commerce saying no H200 chips had been sold to Chinese customers out of the last month, not one. So when Jensen says my China revenue is zero, we need to take him at his word.
100%. AMD, guys, was a monster yesterday as well. Worth keeping an eye on that one. We're coming back into 2 days ago's high. Currently, just back under $200 here for AMD.
Just very randomly, we were just saying there was nothing on the locator there, the imbalance locator. Rivian decided to make an appearance for almost 2.5 million shares to the sell side. And that just happened on Rivian, so now it's down 2%. Looks like it might do that flat bottom break, but we will see. That's still 3 minutes to go. That could easily get paired off, and we could be right back where we started in a couple of minutes from now. Look, Nvidia was a good long yesterday, but we got a different day in here. In theory, you're going to have that 180 support again. I don't know how many times you can go to that well. And interestingly enough, the stronger, at least between the two, I didn't really look at every single chip name yesterday, but the stronger between the two was AMD. That just lost the $200 level and has been trending down all pre-market, just like the overall market. I feel like this is a more key one at that 202. If it had held 200 after the Broadcom, I would have put in the note breakout trade here on AMD, but I feel like that can be a pop and fade. The name I settled on when I put my note out, is going to be gone as well, because it was a similar setup on Intel. I like this 46 level that it showed you an obvious top in yesterday, and I don't think we get a shot at that anymore. And if we're not getting a shot at that, then I got to look to support turning into resistance at 45.4, which will be the pre-market high and then these afternoon highs. So, yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be that eager to be sitting on the bid of AMD today, given it has so much bigger of a gap to fill in than Nvidia. And Trade Desk just made a new high because, of course.
Yeah, look, good call there on Intel. I mean, I have it. We can just go over the note just real quickly here for myself. This is what I'm looking at today, and we've posted it up. You can go find it at Trader TV. Sean, I'll put go give this guy a follow as well if you can. There it is, going to be in the chat right here. But just looking at what we're talking about here today, it was Intel 4550 there on the short, TQQ's 50 to 50 and a quarter. Amazon, that might fall in if we get this drip down that we're looking for, and then a pop into silver, we'll short it. But these could all change. This is just what we're looking at here, and this is why we're talking Intel, the 3 times Nasdaq, Amazon, and silver with a little bit of a touch there, 330. 830 volatility started to go to the downside. I wrote this out before then. So that's what that is. We're going to watch the TQQs and we're going to watch Amazon. So a little couple strategies or ideas there for a look. But man, oh man, like this name is just getting lower. So I guess I got to change where my offer's right now at 45.30, but that's probably not going to happen. So 45.20 or so. Let's wait to see what happens with Intel rate off the open. We have drilling and whatnot happening right now. So that should be fun throughout the day. We want to just let everybody know if you do hear something, please do not adjust your sets. Everything is fine. But downside play in Intel, we'll look at that. If the market wants to bounce again, like we wrote down $50 on the Qs, and we wrote that down at 8 o'clock. That's where it was. Now it's at 49.30, so we would like to see a bounce back up here as well. That's where I'm going to go short. And then silver is the risky play for me of the day. Amazon we'll talk about if it gets down there, but silver, you never know what it's going to do, so I'd like to see it build a base, but we'll be looking short SLV around $76. So in and around here, we'll see if we can get the short there for silver. But yeah, those are some early look ideas, and we'll just wait to see what winds up happening, as you mentioned, Rivian with that sell inbound.
Yeah, Rivian just paired off. Last I checked, it was still down. I'm also looking at Netflix today, continuation off the 97 level. The second I even said Rivian, Randy pops his face in there. The opening bell brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX for this Thursday. So let's get the party started by ringing it.
All righty then. Yeah, U.S. markets are now open. And what's been happening to the U.S. markets has been a rip off the open, most open. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. There goes silver, making a nice move into 75. So we could watch out for that. What did Amazon wind up doing, man? That was okay. Yeah, a shot upside. So we knew that we were not going to trade Amazon unless it gets a little lower. That does not appear to be happening at all. Intel back to 45, so we'll have to wait on that trade. And then Broadcom, we had mentioned that maybe down in here in the 322 or so. Could be a play. That's not happening. And then the trade desk, we wanted to make sure that we watched.
Bye-bye.
There it goes. So we had said the pre-market high break, 31. That happened a little early. It does come back into 31. We give you that trade. Now it's 32.50, blasting higher. Once again, we talk about it and don't do anything. There goes the trade desk higher right now, for now. Wow, Intel, like the market's actually bumping.
Yeah, we're actually seriously bumping. Well, the trade desk to the more than anything else. If you're looking at the rest of the market, though, Nvidia is actually headed lower. So yeah, Nvidia continuing to the downside. AMD pumping.
Yeah.
AMD's pumping 201 now. That's intense. So it looks like it's just an Nvidia story there. So AMD going ham to the upside. Intel kind of okay-ish, but trade desk now $33. Sheesh, that stock is ridiculous, man. That could be the one here. Yeah, I'm just going to jump into VWAP. We want to play this into the pre-market. We'll call it the pre-market resistance levels, because I understand like it goes back earlier than my 630 chart. But you guys can see here. So we're into one. Wish we had trade desk long, but that's kind of gone without us, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it was, same kind of a play yesterday as Coinbase was. So, all right, man, I'm into two stocks right now. I'm into the Intel and into the Qs. Both had moves higher there. We will just watch and see if there's any play on them from here. Looking to get a little shorter on the Qs if we can get up into that 50 area.
Netflix broke 100.
Okay, yeah, Netflix just broke 100. Yeah, like we said, this market is really starting to be on one right now. We do average into the short. We're still waiting for 45.50. If that breaks on Intel, we're out of that name. Short right now at Intel 45.25. Let's see what winds up happening there. And the Qs also starting to go upside here as we, we'll get run over early if that's what winds up happening, but we're just going to give this a little bit of more room here as we put on the cues 50 to 50 and a quarter. So we got to let this thing build just a little bit. There goes Intel blasting through 45.50. That was sort of the top that I was looking at. We didn't want to put on a crazy amount there, but we do stop out as it breaks through those levels. Thinking about putting a little bit more on, though.
Yeah, it missed mine by 1 cent. But that's about it.
Oh, nice.
It's
There,
probably
goes right back
it's
down.
probably going to go at some point. Right now, I'm staring down at Netflix pulling back. So Netflix broke $100, but it's actually right back in under 99 here and coming to the downside. This is one I did want to the long side, but I'm not going to chase this move. I said it could get choppy off the open, so allowing this one to maybe make a bit of a base. What I don't want is a monster failed break at the 100 level and then be way too early to jump back in until starting to come back. I just took a little bit off, but that was absolutely flying. So even the trade desk, wow, the trade desk is pulling back as well.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the black chart here because that one wasn't switching. Trade desk back into the volume weighted average price. I'm not going to jump in too early. If I was thinking 30s before, let it find its own base instead of just trying to jump into this bad boy too early. So trade desk pulling back in here, Netflix pulling back in on strength. Bitcoin doing absolutely nothing. Now that I look at it. So kind of quiet for Bitcoin. We just got back to VWAP on Intel. We're got to take some out as it's trending back to the upside. Nasdaq holds 25,000 off the open. That's pretty strong. Now IBIT starts going. Now Nvidia starts going. So you've seen the market come back in here nicely.
Up. I was going to say, 'cause I'm short, and I'm like,
up.
It's not going in for me yet. Okay, so we'll wait. We got to be patient with it, man. And yeah, same thing there. We did get stopped out at our high. Therefore, Intel, we did get back in, and then we took a little bit more profit on that. So we are still going to be red on Intel, but we were able to get some out there near the high side, and here it goes. If this does break one more time, then we definitely got to get out. 45.56 or so was the past top. So here we go, starting to break off right now higher. Intel going. You mentioned that AMD was there it goes. You mentioned that AMD was also going before. So it looks like maybe this whole Broadcom idea has bubbled up for a lot of these stocks. So there it goes right there for Intel as well. Sorry, for Nvidia upside. Intel blows me out. So we are out of that stock right now. And watching.
AMD's going green right now.
Yeah, let me just check out what Broadcom, because Broadcom must be, I mean, Broadcom's going down. Broadcom's going absolutely the other way right now. So yeah, not good, man. Maybe this is not good for our little Marvell play there tonight, as Broadcom was up 7%. Now it's only up 2%. So the fade game is tight on Broadcom these days. You know, Tesla's always a big mover every morning. We can have a quick check on this one to see what this is doing. Yeah, straight up, man. 400 to 4. There we go. I mean, it doesn't not rocket science to watch out for Tesla here every day, as there it goes, taking it off right to the upside as well. So it's 935 now. Yeah, and basically these are the prices that we were hoping for.
It's crazy. If you look at the VIX right now, nuts. It's just like the VIX is sliding higher. It's not like now it's starting to pull back a little bit. So the VIX starting to pull back a little bit, which would make a little bit more sense for this push up. I'm still looking at IBIT doing nothing here. Couldn't break the low, can't hold VWAP, very, very tight range. So this whole notion of choppiness and patience feels like it's going to play out. Netflix, which I do want to try to get involved in, still trying to base out. Very, very choppy mess. Like that pullback candle is like a full dollar on that $100 break. This could still head lower before it catches a bid. So I'm going to wait out Netflix. We mentioned how strong AMD was. AMD does not go green. So it failed yesterday's high and is going to try to hold this $200 level. So we're going to have eyeballs there as well. Oh, yeah, and the trade desk.
Happened. Oh.
That's the other one. That's starting to pull back. It hit 33. Now you're getting a bit of a dip buy. This is that moment where you get that initial break. And it's the first push back in, I feel like, is always the tricky one. Yesterday it was too early on IBIT when it did its first pull back in.
Oh, no.
And we got here instead of this. It's like allow it to make the base, allow it to start trending up, and then jump into the long after that initial dip buy. So that's what I want to see happen in Netflix and or the trade desk, both of them starting to come back.
Yeah, I need some news or something to happen here quickly because or downside news. Like we just had it move up there again in the TQs, and unfortunately, it's not going down. It's just going up right here. So we got to be careful. That 50.25 is going to be our stop. We almost got stopped. It went to 50 and 50.20, something like that. And I was like, oh no, it's going to go. And it might just do that. It was a good out. Looks like. At least for Intel was a good out. I mean, we completely read that one wrong. I even asked Adair at pre-market. I was like, is there anything up with Intel? She gave me some stories from yesterday, and there wasn't really too much going on. I had really thought that Broadcom would fade out, and Intel...
It's filled the gap.
Yeah, and Intel would, okay, has it? Yeah, and Broadcom would get down into this 320, 322 area, and I thought that would drag Intel with it. Well, that idea... squashed right there. Meta was making a move higher. That's why I was sort of saying under my breath when I was watching these TQs. I was like, a lot of these names are starting to go, and Meta's pulled back. So I don't really know exactly what is motivating this Nasdaq right now, other than it's not Google. We had talked to Mitch there. He was like in that 305 sort of breakout. If anything,
man.
That faded. Is it just Amazon?
It's Amazon.
Like, yeah, that was my next look. Was going to go right over to the next big guy there is Apple, and that's. No, I mean, I don't. Okay, so it looks like we are going to get stopped out here of the TQs. I feel like I mean, I got to do it because it's too much pressure up here. But, you know, at the end of the day, this seems like it just needed to wait a couple minutes there. Okay, there. I mean, of course, we get stopped out right where we do. But watch out now. We should have been a little more patient with that stop out probably. But here it goes. We'll see if we can pull back just a little bit. All those stocks we looked at weren't necessarily ripping. JP Morgan's upside, that shouldn't really be affecting the NASDAQ. But
Well, the other thing that happened is, remember there was that big sell imbalance on Rivian at the open? It actually ended up bottoming out. This might end up setting up out of nowhere here. So it bottomed out at yesterday's low, but there might be a chance. It's relatively weak, Rivian. I'd have talked about my thoughts on Rivian before, but short back into this prior high. 2.5 million sell, and now it's trying to bounce back in. But I want to try and get this one to the south side. IBIT just lost a bid. Trade desk is still not really, it's just not slowing down that much on trade desk. Here's the pullback to retest the volume weighted average price. So if it's taking the stairs up, it needs to make that next leg sometime soon. So I'm trying to get myself into that Rivian short. If you're looking short, I think something that's relatively weak is going to make some sense here. And that's starting to turn the corner again and roll back under. 1470. Randy just asked me where Rivian is, and I'm like, it's at $14.70. Underneath 15, man.
Yeah, well under at this point.
That doesn't scare Randy.
No. Well, I don't think Randy's really in it yet. He's waiting to get in a little bit lower, so I think that's probably better for him. So we got stopped out exactly at the price that we had written down at 25s. That was exactly the high. And I just got to do better at my execution. And it's just like, holding on to something for that long. There it is, 50.25. We just need to wait. Like if we write that down, that should be the top. I got to give it a couple more pennies other than that. I just didn't want it to do the Intel where it ripped. And then I just like, why did we even wait a few more pennies? So we'll take a little bit out there. We did get back into it. I only got into half though of what we had. So the lost, we'll be down on it. Hopefully it comes back in, it'll be fine. But that's the play right now. Looking to get a little bit more out there at 91s. So there it is. We got it. Okay, so there it is. So we do get that play. Man. Damn. Okay, that's too bad. All right, the trade desk, because we nailed that. We nailed that trade, man. It's just we don't have, we got the wrong exit. My bad. I'm the one that puts them out, right? So it is what it is. The trade desk coming back into 32. We said that we look at this maybe at VWAP as well. So 31.50, a potential trade there for us on the trade desk. Looking good, does pull back. Volume's pretty good. Obviously, 20 million shares. We'll definitely have a look there. I still don't mind reloading that Q short if it does come back up to the upside. Broadcom 324. I did notice JP Morgan as I was going on that little rant about the futures there, as that's broken through 3 bills as well. So straight fire to the upside on that one as well. 297 up to 301. Did Robinhood catch flames? No, not really. And if anything, they caught hands, I guess. Downside early. Upside.
These software names are going.
Yeah, maybe that's what's
CRM is looking pretty strong.
Does that break 200 yet? Or?
By the way, SoFi is actually.
By the way, Intel just
200
tanked again.
Almost $200 here on CRM. Yeah, I just saw Intel coming back. I'm going to
way back.
I know.
You would be up in the money now.
It's annoying. Too early. Front end instead of the back end. The annoying thing is I said wait for the It doesn't really matter. It could be choppy this morning, kind of wait for like the first couple of candles to set up, and that 15-minute would have been nice, but Intel back under that 45 half. So yeah, it would be in the money, but it doesn't matter at this point. So if it holds VWAP, I'll try to jump into it again. You already mentioned the trade desk. I'm not going to go over that. It still looks like it's coming back in. And Netflix is retaking $100. Super strong day for Netflix. This is one of the, at least it's a little bit more clear what's happening in Netflix. It's stair-stepping to the upside. There just hasn't been a pullback on the 15. And once we can do that, this first one's going to close green, that $100 level. It's a secondary breakout at this point, which I'm not chasing. I should have been looking at this instead of the trade desk, because this was much better of an entry point. Look at your nice little bottoming tail and then reload. Just give me another one of those and we'll try to jump into Netflix instead of the trade desk going ham. But yeah, software names, as I was mentioning, looking like they could be the other piece of the pie that had the futures get to the upside.
I don't have execution, so just to let you know that right now. So attention for that. I don't know if you do or not, but I do not. Okay, so do you have execution?
Yeah, I can cancel.
Okay, that doesn't mean, did you try to put out a new order?
Yeah, let me just do that.
Hopefully you have it.
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, good. So I'll just refresh and hopefully have execution for myself. Right now, Intel for some reason looks like, doesn't even look right to me. It's not even, something's wrong, I think.
You know what?
I mean, it's just a question. Do you have execution?
No, I had a stop that didn't trigger, though.
Okay, so that's what I was asking you. If we put out an order and let me know.
I could put an order out, but I had a stop that didn't trigger.
Okay, I can't even put an order out, so there definitely is something wrong right now with our system. But you can see right now the Nasdaq is falling back down in right now pretty good. I'm just going to go and see if I can find some help.
Yeah, I'll go into the chat in a quick little second. It might be a stop order that wasn't working as well.
Yeah, there is.
I can throw orders. Okay. I can throw orders out, and I can cancel them. But my stop didn't trigger.
I cannot.
So, anyways, we're gonna go back to the market for you guys. It doesn't really matter. I think it's probably just local to us, anyways, because no one was complaining.
Well, no, it's only me. You're not. You have no problems.
Well, outside of a script.
Yeah. I can't even put out orders.
Just to go back to Palantir here for a second. Just go back to the market for a second. Palantir. I saw people say it's a breakout. Yes, but also coming back in like a lot of other names. Oh, that Intel's going to be so annoying. The trade desk, unfortunately, waiting for this to set up for a dip buy to the long will end up being a fail because it never really sets up. And on the other hand, I'm looking over at Netflix, which did. And that's still going higher. It failed 100 a second time, so we still can't break out that 100. But now it looks pretty good off of prior resistance levels. So that could be the place to go here, Netflix. Looking a little bit better than the overall market. And then, of course, Intel was a bit of a swing and a miss. That's disappointing, but you got to move on to the next. And AMD, which we said would have...
Everything is Chinese in here.
Would have a little bit of trouble. It's now underneath that volume-weighted average price. It feels like this was a little more clear than Intel. Rejected the prior high, and now it's under this low. So as long as you hold underneath VWAP, that could be a nice little play. Let us know what other symbols you guys are looking at. PayPal, I see in the chat. Remember, $, everybody. Make sure you use that $, $PYPL. I saw BBAI in the chat. We didn't look at this. Day 2 after earnings. It was a nothing burger yesterday. Is this doing something? Not
2%.
This still needs to break 4. It's a pretty clean 4 break on BBAI. Look at the last couple of sessions. If it can do that, great. If it can't, pretty much nothing.
I logged out and back in, so
sometimes that works. Oh wow, what just happened to Netflix?
I just can't believe this market's tanking. And
2 seconds ago, I was like, okay, Netflix, see if it holds on to VWAP. Now you're all the way back through 98.5. Yikes. Maybe we can actually catch this. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. But I'm looking at AMD short, not Netflix short. So AMD just lost the volume-weighted average price. Looks like it's time to get in. There's your topping tail rejection candle. So give it to the prior high, which is about 21 change, and look for it to break down underneath that $200 level here on AMD. So lots moving. I know there's some small cappers moving around. That TPET apparently is going again. We'll keep our eyeballs on that. I haven't seen any halts or any crazy movements on OMOBEX is in play as well. Let's go to Adara for an update.
I want to let you guys know, President Trump did post in Truth Social. It's nothing market related, so I'm not even going to get into it. But that post comes out as we do get a little bit of a pullback in the market. So this could, and we've seen this happen before. The market reacts to completely unmarket related Truth Social posts. Like for what it's worth, I'll tell you, he just posted about the Save America Act. But again, nothing that would necessarily be moving the market. So he did post. I'm not seeing anything else here with regards to this market. And furthermore, I want to let you guys know we don't have any economic data coming through. I mean, obviously 9:45 already happened, but we don't have anything at 10 a.m. either. So no economic data for me. Back to you.
So this is part of the risk when your system goes down. Like the market, I was trying to get out when it was down into here, man. It just went to 80s and everything. And unfortunately, we just got back up. I just got back up and was able to get some out at 90. So that kind of sucks. We throw some money out. But that's what happens sometimes when you are, just dancing around and
didn't trigger again.
Don't have execution.
Yep.
But anyways, that's what that is. So, all right, we'll just get it figured out later. All right, so if that comes back up here, I still think I like the short. I mean, underneath, it basically came up right to the spot that I was liking before and gave us that trade. So, we'll try it again maybe right now against that $50.25 mark. That was the level that that I did like. I wrote it down. It's now worked against me twice. Well, once it was against me, the second time it was great. We'll try it again right here. Just shorting a little bit back in. Now, we'll see if we can get something out, in the O's, and then we'll see about a lower bid coming through, a lower offer, hitting lower bids coming soon on the TQ. So we'll just average that in right against that high, 50.25 right there. And again, it's kind of like, if we're looking at it, I'm not just throwing darts at this thing. Like I really thought this was gonna be a level here that we could hold to the downside. So far, so good. But, we started the trade a little early the first time. And if we get stopped out again, let's just do it at 50.30, which is coming up pretty darn close right now. So that will be the stop out there. If it does start to break higher, we have to be very, very careful with said trade. So here it comes right back into those levels one more time. And I'm going to assume that Intel has made its way back upside as well.
Oh, everything's absolutely flying.
Yeah, Intel comes right back into the 200 period moving average there. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe you have to look at some silver and gold and all that kind of stuff. But for right now, this is what I'm doing.
I don't know about.
No, it's not.
I don't know about that because silver is in the same range as before. It's not really doing much. Gold will be doing the same thing. Crypto is actually the other direction at this current moment. So look, it looks like it's an everything rally in the big cap tech. I just had a second stop not trigger, so thankfully I was able to punch out manually.
I still think there might be something going on, guys.
I'm just gonna use it. No, I'm gonna use a different stop. I'm gonna use EJ. I'm gonna start using EJ because it was the same one. So I just used 2 or 3.
There we go. Holy.
So now we're starting to come back in.
There we go. F you, futures, because there it goes, man. Finally. It's so, yeah, the money plane is coming in right there on that trade, but we do exit it out a little bit because we are nervous. I mean, that this move may not result in a downside play. Let's get some more out there at 01s, and we just follow our plan, man. That's how you do it. Wait for your levels, and then even if you're wrong, get some out on the way down. I just got out of 75% of that trade on the way back down to put us back to where we need to be net-wise here today. But yeah, that was a very, very upsetting point there when it wasn't working on the platform. But okay, out a little bit. And sometimes we got great support here at Real Trading, so you just hop into our chat. That's where I got the advice and was able to handle that problem. So thank you to Real Trading for that real time. Like I put it in the chat and I was answered within 5 seconds, pretty much. Okay, so nice move there. We're going to get out still if this breaks 30, so it's still in there for the stop, but I'm not going to reload it. No, I feel really lucky to be able to empty that clip when it just ticked down like that right there, right now. You were saying that everything was ripping. I assume that's, okay, not really Robinhood too much.
Not everything.
Yeah, everything.
Crypto is not.
Yeah, and okay, so that's, so Robinhood downside. Crypto, I thought crypto got to about 72, and now it's about 72.2.
We're at 72.2.
Horrible.
It's trying to get back to the upside and break through up. It's just not able to do it currently, so looking a little bit weak. I'm going back.
Here goes the futures.
Look, the trade desk here is trying. Trade desk under VWAP. This can't even get going anymore, so that looks like a big disappointing one. So trade desk might be a bit disappointing. It was over 20% to the upside. Could just be too far of a chase. Tesla's trying to go. That's looking okay. Jumping right back over to those chips. We have not looked at this name in quite some time. On chart. Micron now holding $400 and trying to settle on this double top. Okay, finally IBIT. All right, starting to see something happen in Bitcoin. If it can do that, yesterday it was, I bought the dip early and didn't wait for it to hold VWAP. So this was the moment. It was actually 10 o'clock. I didn't even get into this thing good until it was 10 o'clock. So this could be the same kind of story. Let it get over VWAP, preach that patience and allow it to happen. It's not a long until I see that recovery back above the volume weighted average price. It's getting a little bit closer now, so this is starting to set up a little bit. Commodity King says the IGV is flying. Well, we saw what CRM was doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an assumption Microsoft probably doing if the IVG is going, then I'm sure it is as well. So yeah, the IVG, if that's what's leading the market, that leads credence to the everything bounce trade, I would think, in tech. But not everybody's participating. Trade desk is a huge disappointment. There hasn't even been a green candle in 15 minutes on the trade desk, so then I'll be sitting that one out for a while.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go long here on Netflix. If this breaks back above 98.50 right there, let's get above its most recent little level right here on the, we're just gapping down right now, so we'll see. Oh, what? Why am I not getting long? 95.50 I put down there, my bad. See, there it goes. Well, we just, oh man, just the wrong prices today for me. We wanted 98.50 long there, and I put 95.50. Okay, maybe if it comes back in, we'll get that fill anyways, but here goes Netflix trying to go a little bit higher. We could take a small position here at 79, and then if it does come back in into that 98.50, which it looks like it might do, we'll average it back in just a little bit there and see if that can work. So we're gonna go long on Netflix on a pullback in. We know it's a strong name. There bounces off the 200. That's why we like the 98.50. It gave us a pretty good out with limited risk, right? So 98.27s or so was that most recent low. So we can double check that. But there it goes again, man. We'll ride that bull on Netflix and see where it goes from here. Get some out in the 90s. Good trade there on Netflix. Too bad we don't have a better price. My bad. What up, Dara?
Stock I know you like, BBAI, Big Bear AI, popping higher as U.S. Representative Lisa McClain filing for a stock purchase for BBAI. Back to you.
Exactly. There you go, Lisa McClain.
Oh, and it just broke that $4.
Yeah, man, it's going to break $5 soon, too. But there goes Big Bear AI. We like that stock for sure. Just waiting out for that Netflix. Hopefully it goes higher. You know where my out is on that one. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, whenever you see that sort of buying like that, sure, it's a nice catalyst. Obviously, we'd rather see it be, you know, business related rather than just some rando buying it. But whenever you got someone in the government buying shares, we do know that that can rally the retail side as well. Yeah, it can't. I mean, it could be worse. You could be selling some shares. So that's a nice move higher. But I guess in order to sell, you got to buy it in the first place. So we'll see. Nice move up 5%. Considering what the market's doing down today, we'll take that Big Bear AI 5% move. And we had said we like these levels. So this is kind of where I'm long anyways. So we'll just have to hold out hope that eventually it works out for us. Netflix is pulling back a little bit. We don't have a big position, half a unit. We'll see if we get a little bit more down there near 50 where we like it. And then if that happens, good. If it doesn't, then, you know, we've already got the long on it. We can wait for it. So, yeah, so far so good here on the day. Just waiting for Netflix to sort of mature up. We like that BBAI. Next stop, $7.
Well, hopefully 420 first.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
That 420 is always a bit of a level. So we finally got to VWAP here on IBIT. So starting into it. Once it can hold, we're going to add to this on the way to the upside. The other thing that I'm going to keep a monitor on is if BM&R starts to look better, this is a setup for a potential breakout on that chart. So if we start to get higher, I might like both of them here today. The other name, obviously, we can't track everything in the market for you guys, but Nvidia is starting to look good. At the open, Nvidia was actually weak, but it's double bottomed at 181 and starting to hold higher. So if we get that everything rally, Nvidia could go. It was a bit of a swing. It was obviously a swing and miss on Intel, but as it comes back in, your chance to short 46 might have already come. It twice went into this high and pulled back into VWAP. So this is a sit it out. I know I wrote 646 down on the note. This is a sit it out, let it press into here and try to break the trend. Like, I'll go for a trend break on this instead of trying to fight Intel as it goes higher and higher. And some other crypto names here. Robinhood can't seem to get through VWAP either. I think once these start to bust through, they'll look a heck of a lot better. It's a weird day. Yesterday, I was complaining about SoFi. And today, SoFi flies. Like, go figure. Like, yesterday, Robinhood was strong and SoFi was weak. Today, Robinhood's not doing anything and SoFi's up 4%. If there's a story as to why SoFi seems to be so strong. I couldn't find it, but it's on an absolute chart. So shout out to everyone in the chats that's been posting about it, because I'm not sure why we're so strong. I'm happy about it, but not sure what the story is with SoFi.
Yeah, the banks. I mean, there's a strong resurgence here with some of the banks. We saw Robinhood go to the upside as well. But yeah, I mean, JP Morgan pulled back. So you're right. I mean, I didn't even realize. Last time I was looking at JP Morgan, it was doing this. Yeah. Now it's doing that. So yeah, maybe, not maybe, it looks like there is definitely something to that. We do have more shares on Netflix, but it doesn't look like it really wants to do anything at these levels. So we got to let this sort of percolate and get back up into that $99 level. And if that can happen, then okay. Computers, we'll take that to the upside and see if that wants to go there on Netflix. You know, a name that we always were looking at today, Robinhood, K83, not doing anything there either. Let's take a look at the earnings plays that we had looked at earlier. Broadcom, wow. Yep, it does exactly the move. I had actually said 322. It goes to 323, not quite there. It's not that I was going to take the long. It had to have basically come way back in. Like if that 321 or 320 had popped, then I think that would have been something. So we'll look there for for Broadcom on the downside of that play. Netflix bouncing around, futures still going higher, so we're stopped out of that trade as that just kept on climbing. But it's Broadcom right now leading the way, and maybe it's Nvidia as well as some of these. You had mentioned AMD was strong early. Yeah, there goes Nvidia right now to the high side, breaking through. Micron's breaking through $400. We just need Netflix to go. So something's going on over there with it not happening. Micron 402 and breaking right now, a nice level on the day. Took that level out and needs to get back to 404, but a nice little recovery play there for MU as well. Just waiting for Netflix, man. Hopefully that one will go. Adara happening now. What's going on?
Sorry, guys, I just realized I'm a couple minutes early on this. My bad. But let's talk here about this market and what's happening now. I do have some comments as well I want to mention coming through from with regards to the Middle East. Fed's Barkin has been speaking as well earlier today. Fed is going to be going meeting by meeting. There are some doubts here being raised by this recent inflation data. Fed might not be done, quote, the inflation fight. So more vague hawkishness coming from these Fed speakers as of this morning. I want to mention here, I'm seeing reports here, the ITF saying that seafarers are going to be given right to refuse passage through the Strait of Hormuz, and the Strait of Hormuz will be designated a warlike operations area. So oil will absolutely remain in focus. Furthermore, Pete Hegseth, who is, of course, U.S. Secretary of Defense, he's speaking right now. I'm seeing a lot of comments coming through, but it seems to be more about the U.S.-Mexico border than anything else, if there is anything Iran-related. Of course, I will keep you all informed. Let's talk about Broadcom, AVGO here. Solid earnings, nice growth specifically for their AI revenue, and they're guiding better than expected for Q2 2026 revenue. That being said, AVGO not moving too positively, or at least giving up basically all of its gap up at the open. Speaking of giving up some of its gap, TTD doing the same thing here. The trade desk was on watch this morning. A couple different catalysts. For one, report from the information suggesting that OpenAI could be in talks here for some kind of advertising deal or collaboration with TTD, and then TTD CEO Jeff Green filing the purchase of 6.4 million shares over the Monday to Wednesday period. NVDA also going to be on watch here. Financial Times reporting that this company has switched some of its China H200 chip production over to its Vera Rubin chip. Now, I also want to mention here some earnings after the bell. Biggest one, Sean's mentioned quite a few times already, but Marvell will absolutely be on watch. Costco, though, also in focus. They're reporting after the bell as well. Not having too good of a morning today on COST, and it will actually be costing a little less heading into that report. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Go over to Sean and Neil.
All right, thank you, Adara. Today we did have Mitch on, and basketball fans get ready for March Madness. But what do traders and investors get this year? We get Market Madness. Trade the Pool is hosting the ultimate market bracket tournament, and guess what? You're invited. Pick your stock coach, join them during the draft night as they pick their top 5 hot stocks and battle it out for massive prizes and bragging rights all throughout April the 6th. Not pumped yet? You can also enter your own Market Madness bracket or pick your own core 5 stocks and outperform the champion to win a $5,000 evaluation account. Get ready. The draft is on the 5th of March, which is today. Scan the QR code right now to EA Sports. Get in the game on that one. But you're going to have to beat Joe, who will win this contest, apparently. So shout out to Joe.
You don't even know how it works.
Don't worry, Joe knows how it works. He's going to enter that contest and just dummy everybody. But get in there. We're just playing around. Get in there. Join the fun with Trade the Pool. But please read all the contest rules and everything, so that you can, as Neil said, figure out exactly. The right way to play it, and get that evaluation account. We want to thank Mitch for stepping up and in here today for us. That was fun.
And to TPS reports, we usually do brackets.
Did you file your TPS report, by the way?
I always file my TPS reports.
Good. Yeah, you got to make sure you do that
every single time.
For
the actual March Madness, we usually do brackets. I don't think we did, but a couple of years ago we did one for the. We actually had a spreadsheet for the viewers.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well.
By the way,
I do it every year myself, but.
Netflix is ripping. There goes Netflix. We have been shorting Nvidia, which is real nice. But there goes Netflix, man. I hope that you guys have that face slapper on right now. It's NFLX. I'm going to get a little bit more out here on Nvidia. We did short the top. I almost got short again at the top. Just missed us. So I was actually waiting at 85. I mean, I can't. I can't do this anymore. It went to 78, so we missed it by a couple pennies. We'll wait to see if it does come back up there and then reshort it. But yeah, here comes Netflix, and breaking through $99, so that was a good one. Just bouncing off VWAP. So let me take another piece out here at 06. I believe we just got it again. So now we go upside on Netflix and see if we can break through VWAP. And again, our stop was always going to be this 200 period, so that order is still in there to break if it does. And that's going to be my stop area. So well worth the risk to reward here, but we just got to get it to climb and break through VWAP. Let's put another order at 99.20s, and then we'll get out of that. We're actually at 16s. There it goes. Give me it. Ooh, bounces off of us again there. Give me that 16. Bounces off again. But that's what we're looking for right there, and we just get it. And then, by the way, let's go, man. Netflix. Nvidia downside here. Let's see if we get a 25 fill. But so far, so good on some of these reloads. We just had to be more patient with our day. We started it off shorting that Intel, which was completely right, Neil. And then
not
Intel
anymore. Is absolutely flying.
Wow, a lot of these, why is Nvidia
to
tanking?
Go.
Okay, we gotta.
Well, Intel's not Nvidia.
That's for sure.
That's very different. So Bitcoin, IBIT got to that pre-market resistance spot, was able to take some out, just reloaded in front of the 41. So it's a similar setup to yesterday, but yesterday when it made that jaunt under the volume weighted average price, we held higher lows the whole way. So if it can't hold on to the prior bar, then that's an easy out, which is about 95 or so. So that's where the out's going to be. Intel is, like I was saying, Intel is not stopping, but it did finally fill in. I have to go to a 15-minute, sheesh. It did finally start to fill in this gap. The last time we were here, we broke the 46 and got all the way to 46.5 before coming in. So if we're waiting for it to get to a key level, it looks like it just did and put a bit of a turn. I said I'd wait for a trend break to even think about shorting this again. So that's going to look something like this. Unless we, no, I'm going to leave this trend break in. I'm not going to chase it. It has to do that kind of a trend break. And then trade desk, which I thought there'd be a heck of a lot going on with the trade desk. It's not doing anything but falling still. So trade desk ends up being a nothing burger. I thought this would be the one for the long, but if you didn't have it in the pre-market, there was nothing to be done with the trade desk. Frustrating.
Yep.
Because it just doesn't want to. It doesn't want to turn around. And this is a clean trend break if it does.
It's not.
Or there's your top. If it can just break this trend, then I can get into. And it has an easy upside for about $1, but it's just not setting up.
Everybody may or may not be seeing Randy very soon because we've asked for a reload, so he'll be coming right back.
True.
All right, man. The cleanest trade for me today because it's just had one in, which we had multiple ins, but it's your face slapper of the day. And oh boy, man, this brought our net right back, man, to something more comfortable now. As Nvidia coming right back in, we shorted that top take there as we had just noticed that it was running just a little bit there today into the levels of yesterday's closing prices. I liked that short there. Sometimes you got to get lucky, and I think we did right there with Nvidia because the market's also pulling back just a little bit right now as well. So that's going to be a good take. And, not much better of one either. This is a pretty clean trade. The only thing is, too, we had to average in a little bit. We're out of half now. Actually, just a little, wow, okay. Just a little bit more than half. I mean, what just happened there? I'm going to offer 87s now to take 23 pennies on it. But we did a good opportunity opportunity. Did we get those 80? Yes, we did. Okay. Oh no, we didn't get 87s there. We do now. We do. So yeah, good opportunity there. But this is why, like, it's not just a line on the chart. It's VWAP, and I like to, protect that and use that as a level of interest. And that's exactly where we came up to. So when we talked about emptying the clip, that was 10%. Then up here was another 40% out. And then we just got another 10% there as well. So now we're starting to, hold about 35% left of this Netflix trade. Still looking for it to blow upside. We got out of half of our, I'm going to get another piece right now at 16s. Got out of half of our Nvidia down here as well. A little bit more than half. Upside, and then we got out some down there as well. So bouncing now off the 25 and the 200 period moving average. I was getting greedy, man. I was waiting down here at 185 to get the fill at VWAP. So hopefully we can still get that. Looking to go a little more short upside, and then the stop was always going to be 183 anyways. So so far so good on the risk reward profile. And then I'll throw it back to Neil. I just want to see what's going on with J right here, which is the J contract on crude. Nice Nvidia. Shorty got low, low, low. We may get VWAP, and we do. Did we just get VWAP right there on Nvidia? Yes, we do, man. That is exactly the trade that we are looking for right there. Top of the day, back to VWAP, man. Just wish we would have held them all, but we still got a good part on as it's starting to go back downside right now. We like that trade for us on Nvidia. Right there, but short intel, that is, I don't know if that's working out because
well, it's breaking trend.
Okay.
I slapped the all-day trend on it, the trend line, which I did the same thing for Trade Desk. So it's breaking the all-day trend line, all morning trend line. It's only been 30 minutes, but you get the idea. Prior bar is going to end up in the 30s. This one hasn't gone yet, unfortunately. So those are the two things that we're working on. At least I'm working on. For now. This might not even happen on Trade Desk. Looks like we're just going to continue to break lower and lower. I'm going to leave it in there and see what can happen with it. IBIT did come out, so it could not hold on to that bid, but that's why you have that stop at the prior bar. It's now through the lows. And if we fill further the gap, it's about 39.6 to 40 that's going to be your support range off the 70,000, but it looks like it's getting weak. So trend break is happening on Intel. Oh, now it's starting to go. All right, I had to go back to Trade Desk here. Trade Desk is finally starting to break that trend line. So here we go. Trade Desk could be the first trade. Well, it is the first time I'm going to get into this. Up 20%. The news on Trade Desk, I know there's that OpenAI ad story, but the bigger deal was the CEO buying 148 mil worth of shares. In my opinion, that's the bigger story. Good for OpenAI, but yeah, the big story is going to be that, the share buy by the CEO.
Yeah, we like that story there. And we saw a similar thing with Greg Abel there on Berkshire. We can have a quick little look back at that. We just got 99s.
That didn't excite me, actually.
Yeah, we just got some 99s there. That was only $15 million.
Wasn't a lot.
That's why I asked Adair. I was like, huh? This BRK. Yeah, it wasn't a lot, right? BRK.B. I was, I wanted to get some more of this because, I don't mind the stock.
I don't know what they're doing.
Well, but there's no dividend associated with it. It has had a move up recently. I mean, wow. Damn it. Oh, man, it was just a couple days ago. I was talking about that dividend, and I was talking about it at these levels. I didn't even realize it's had that move back up right now for, I almost said Bed Bath & Beyond, Berkshire there. But, yeah, 47.75, 475 was a great little level there for that downside. Okay, man. Obviously good takeouts there on the low side there, as we talked about how much of Nvidia that we actually even have left. We have a quarter left now. More outs. We got the fact that we got that VWAP. That was like the saving grace right there. Nice trade to get that. Now we'll wait to see what it wants to do now, moving higher. Looking to reload this, as we said, around that 85 marker. We can go down to 75 now. Let's just put an offer there. 182.74s. We'll sit there and take a little bit of shares if it does come back up to that upside, because we had just missed it last time. So no point in waiting at 85. If it's going to give us 75, we'll take it. 10 cents, honestly, shouldn't matter that much to us. We're going to get stopped out anyways when it breaks through those levels. So, all right, let me take another piece here in the mid 40s. Then we'll go to the mid 30s and get some more out, as we are getting a little nervous here as the market may be rallying back. I don't know. Good couple outs on Netflix as well. But yeah, any super chats, let's throw them out right now and see what's going on with them.
Darth Loquitur.
Loquitur, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a character.
Oh, CRM.
CRM might hold above 200. How do you see it for a swing long? Well, I wish, I probably still have some CRM shares from like way back in the day, so full disclosure, and they'd be from years and years ago that I just was probably too dumb not to dump at this point. But you have the classic rounded bottom breakout, but you're right, holding above 200 is key. If your time frame is a daily chart, then it has to do it on the daily chart. Breaking it intraday doesn't necessarily mean anything because you could close at 195 today for all we know. So yeah, I would agree with the whole, it has to hold above 200, and then you've got a rounded bottom relief rally. Just, you saw the entire sector, the software sector is going, so I think that gives you a little bit of extra credence. Willis Addison, okay, please tell me I'm not alone. Okta 75 calls. Well, I'm not in them, so I've never been involved in Okta. But I know they're up a bunch today, but I haven't looked at the chart today, and because it's not usually a day trading stock. Oh, well, where's this one? Congratulations! I'm assuming you're winning. I can't imagine a way in which you are not winning on this with your 75 calls. Don't know what you paid for them. Not looking at the chain right now, and I don't know what your expiry is, so there's a heck of a lot of information that we don't know. But yeah, congratulations on that one. They're holding gains very, very nicely. Even with the futures at resistance and pulling back, they're holding the highs. That's always a good sign. So not much of a pullback there on Okta. But that's not, can't really know how they're doing without knowing more details. Like, when do they expire?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it looks great. I mean, I like the Okta.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks great.
Especially, remember, you are getting a bounce now in software names. So Okta helping out with that. And what else is helping out with this? A software name, potentially. I mean, Netflix is an app, essentially, a streaming service. And there it goes now, right back there, back through VWAP. We take two fills up there at the high of this most recent move and at the last little support level. Just to let you guys know, on Netflix, man, 15% left. Could have reloaded it, didn't. Nice move higher. Let's see if we get to, basically, let's just let it roll now. No point in me doing anything else with
not
this
that thing again.
Anymore, okay? And let's just go over to silver and have a quick little look. It's already 10:13. I do want to look at the broader markets in a couple seconds as well. No, do not. 75.50. Man. Look at it a little bit earlier, my guy. I'm just looking at stocks that aren't working for me. There's silver, 75.50 as our short. There's silver, 75.50 twice in the open market. Now down $1 from those levels. So, oh boy, man, those were good ideas not executed on.
Randy.
Yeah, there it is, man. What a call on silver twice, like 75.50 right there. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully it comes back up and gives us a little bit of a look there as well. May not, but that was a crazy look on silver there. Netflix seems to be pretty good too. It's almost $1 now. See if we can get breaking through 99.60. But yeah, that's too bad about that silver. Too bad. All right, man. We'll look at Battle and Mob Deep when we get back from Madeira.
Let's talk here about some other headlines coming out of the Middle East. There have been a lot. So what I've been kind of trying to do is wait a couple minutes, see how many we can really get. So UAE saying the defense systems currently are responding to a missile threat. So UAE's defense systems apparently responding to a missile threat. We've got Abu Dhabi residents reporting sounds of a blast. And last but not least, IDF, so that's Israel's military, announcing that they have eliminated a Hamas commander in the Tripoli area. Back to you.
Okay. Okay.
You said we'd look at that MobX. Yeah. Unfortunately, that might have been the kiss of death. Not doing anything. It was barcoding a second ago. It was trying to hold VWAP. It was trying to hold $1. It's been fighting with $1 for the whole morning, and it looks like it's about to lose the battle as we speak. So that kind of sucks. If anyone's watching this, the dollar level's been pretty big for it. Well, Intel's a fail again. At least TE's trying to go, but Intel, it just broke. We had our trend break. That didn't save either. We had our trend break. There's my bar exit. The second it ticks 1 cent above, we're out. We're starting to get out when we caught that bid a second ago. But thankfully, the futures are starting to go. But our other trend break trade is starting to work its way back to the upside. I'm not adding to this. We get our one entry on that bar entry, and all we wait for is the volume weighted average price. I'll hold some for a push through if we can get it. But I still think the retracement to VWAP is the way to go with this bad boy. Very unfortunate, because I actually liked Netflix at 97. But it looks like it's still chopping around inside. So I'm going to stay away from that. And we actually have a poll up. Okay. Market today, dip and rip, pop and fade, short Qs, chop all day. I don't think we chop all day. I'd go pop and fade, which 37% chop all day, 24% say pop and fade, dip and rip 31%, short the Q, straight up 6. I'd say that's pretty not definitive.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't listen to us too much today, man. We don't have too many winners on board. But I'm going to go with what I'm doing, pop, then fade. I'm shorting the Qs again right now. And, yeah, it's been what's been a pretty, obviously, tough day on this side. But, yeah, we're just going to wait. I mean, it's just nothing's really going. That's kind of what I mean by it. I mean, Netflix is starting to maybe a little bit. Let's have a quick look at some other names. I mean, we saw financials pull way back in as well. And just watching out for Nvidia. We just took another piece on the low side of that just to see where it wants to go. But yeah, definitely, man. As I was saying, I'm going to be red today for sure. So we'll have to wait just because the futures. Hopefully it comes back in here. Nvidia has been really great. Nvidia's been great. Netflix has been great. It was the Intel short early, and the futures trade. We're net short now, and it's coming back. So we're at a reasonable level, as we always say. As Neil always says, you know, like you have to look to see like how much you made or lost yesterday, how much you're making or losing today, and try to keep it in the pocket. Yeah, exactly. Broadcom 5%, Walmart getting crushed, man. So glad we're in Target, not Walmart. But I feel like Walmart's a better stock, better company. Target's a better stock right now. So I may rotate out, man. Like the fact that I can get Target at 120 right now and then just rotate into a Walmart that's kind of getting crushed right back to the lows of their earnings when they bounced off 120. That's been a good support level. I might think about doing that because for a long-term trade, Walmart, I believe, would probably be better than Target, although I love the dividend that Target is throwing at me every day. Okay, a little bit more of a bid here coming on Nvidia. I don't have, okay, there it goes. All right, I was gonna say we're at the 50-period moving average. Just put a bid out now, take something out there, and here comes the TQs. As we said, no crying over spilled milk. We just get back into it, and you know, not always right. Sometimes we get back into things too much, but right now I like this futures trade, and we'll see if we want to go lower. Yeah, drill, baby, drill, as you can hear over on that. So we're supporting the oil trade around here. A couple more outs on the TQs at the 50-period moving average. Let's see if we get just a little bit lower now, as everything's working out for us, man. 30 cents here, 30 in Nvidia, and 70 in Netflix, but just need a little bit more action.
And back in the Rivian, those stops are not working again, by the way. Like this morning, everything, I haven't had a single green stock, but it's worse because 2 of them, my stops didn't trigger and I had to actually punch out manually. Is what it is. That happens sometimes. We have multiple stop orders we can use. Just shift to another one and you're good to go. One of those was actually on Rivian, but that just broke trend. So again, just wait for, don't revenge trade it. It sucks. You know, that should have triggered here, and we end up punching out manually with a bad price, way too late. But we're going to get in when the trend breaks. We're going to put our stop at the prior bar high. We're going to look for the VWAP retracement, like all of the normal things that I would do. Bids go in at support levels, so that'll be the 14.9 where we closed yesterday for the first look, and then down at about 14.85 or so, then at about VWAP, the volume weighted average price. So we're going to get those orders in. And I'm still tracking Trade Desk. Like it wasn't terribly definitive in there. You might say, well, why give it such a tight stop? Because that's the setup. There's your long trend. There's your break. There's your out when it breaks a prior bar. And then it resumes a downtrend. And if I can find another spot to jump in, when it makes a rounds, then we'll try to go again. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention the other small capper. It wasn't just MobX, but thankfully, it's time to go to Adara, where she can do it for the small cap recap.
What we're going to talk about, guys, are a couple different small caps here. One of them is, though, MOBX, or MobX, as Neil just called it. MOBX had a new catalyst this morning, and that's basically the main reason I want to talk about it here. This name does have a $100 million market cap. We know it's been trading over the last couple days. And MOBX today, the catalyst is they've received a new production orders for components used in a Gulfstream aircraft. So, again, that kind of defense small cap type play coming into play. I didn't want to use the word play again, but here we are. CXAI is going to be in watch. This one also does have a catalyst. CX App is the name of this company, launching the One Map experience, which they're calling a spatial intelligence layer, powering agentic workplace AI. So you've got more buzzwords here. Defense with that MOBX. This one going to be an AI play. $9 million market cap. This name I know for a fact has rallied in the past. 25 million share float, 8.5% short float. Last but not least, Gaxos AI. This one is another another repeat offender, as we like to call it. It's one that has certainly gapped up and rallied in the recent past and more than once. GXAI here, $18.9 million market cap, float of 7.8 million shares. This is a sub 10 million share float, guys, for GXAI, securing a license from America First Defense for counter UAS drone-to-drone hijacker systems. So another defense play. Defense and AI, the name of the game for small caps today. Back to you.
Okay.
Static.
Every time you walk by.
Yeah, every time we see Fabian walking around here, we think there's something wrong with the
My
mic.
screen turns off.
PSX, what's up to golf franchise right there? Wants to talk about I was going to say Pioneer, but it's Phillips 66. Yeah, we can. Okay, first of all, the futures are coming back down, man. We got a great trade, 50 cents now in the money on the TQQs. But yeah, great little look here for Pioneer. PSX up 2.5%. Wow, great chart as well, man. Going opposite right now of XOM and all that. So Phillips 66 right there, I guess on a nat gas bull run. But, you know, again, thank you for the super chat right there and bringing that to everybody's attention. PSX really working out. I wonder what the dividend is looking like over there. I could get involved in that. That is for sure. Okay, there, yes, sir, man. We are one, and that's it, man. We are trading. I love trading these vehicles. Just a little too early today on the futures. Gave us a couple of headaches there as we got stopped out for a bigger hit than we would have. Well, no, not a bigger hit than we would have liked, but just a hit. And now we're back into the money as we watch this one come right back in. And then Nvidia as well. Let's go on the money train for Nvidia as that's coming back in as well. We'll bid some mid-teens and see if we can't get a better trade here on Nvidia to the downside. But definitely not letting these things get too carried away with the profits, right? I mean, you don't necessarily want to always hold for the moon. Sometimes, or in this place, the basement. Take advantage when you're hitting certain levels. So right there, comes right back into the 50 period and the 200. We take advantage of that one. And then, oh, thank you so much, Rob. That's very kind of you to offer that. Thank you to Rob. He's the best. Rob's like MO are the awesome cups.
Thanks,
he always gives us the different cups.
Yeah,
so
remember
I got
guys?
this polka dot one, and you've got, oh yeah, that was from a viewer.
Yeah, we got these from
Sent
one of our
those
viewers.
in with some coffee that one time.
Yeah, it was it's tasty coffee, and they actually sent us coffee beans and some mugs. There's a bunch of other ones.
Oh yeah.
No, there's just a bunch of mugs. Oddly enough, I haven't seen all of them in a while.
Oh, yeah. Tons of mugs.
I feel like someone absconded with.
Absconded with what?
What?
Which mug?
Weren't there like four of these things?
I think there was two, probably one for you.
I
and
thought
one
there
for
was
I.
four. Okay.
There may have been, but stop using those words, man. Absconded? What the hell are you even doing? Okay, so here we go. 76.77 is another trade. I don't really have a word for it, but we'll just hit the sirens upside right there because there goes the TQs, man. We are now almost in that vaunted club right there. Pull back in Netflix, fine by me, man. I'm not even really looking at it. Netflix now, we only have 10% left. We talked about that, waiting for that dream. And I'm just going to stop out if it breaks. Let's fix that trade because it's now even lower. It was a break of 98.20. Now it looks like 98.39. 98.39s. Right there. If we break back down below that 200 period moving average, then let's stop out of that, okay? So that would be that trade for me on that play. So let's see what winds up happening here with Netflix if it does break lower. And hey, man, I want this thing to absolutely crap because that means that all of them is going down too. There goes Nvidia. Nice play to the downside for Mr. NVDA. Let's see if we get a little bit lower on that one. Rate touching VWAP, man, we've got it pretty good right there. There goes the Qs again. Another bid getting hit. Another bid getting hit on Nvidia. We're starting to break lower right now, man. And I just hope that some of the shorts are printing for all of you guys out there now. So we'll get ready and we'll go after that. Hopefully some more downside coming through for my positions. I don't know if we want that for the market. Right back at day's low again here on the Nasdaq.
The ES just broke low today.
Yeah. So did Nasdaq just now.
Yeah, the ES is looking maybe like a hair weaker because the Nasdaq still got 25,000 on it, but the ES is definitely losing the bid. So yeah, we finally got the Rivian did a trend break. I'm going to pull back into VWAP. That's the standard. See if it can get lower. The other thing I didn't do was show you a daily chart on Rivian. It's also losing the 200 period, but it's a chop fest off that 200 period. I just like the lower highs that it's been putting into this flat top, or sorry, flat bottom potential break. It actually almost broke that bottom. We do have nat gas storage apparently coming on through.
Okay,
We'll see how that goes, but watch out because all those high flyers from earlier, like if you look at was like CRM, I guess would be one of the best examples. It's catching a little bit of a top here, and the market's already at the lows, and these are starting to slow down rather precipitously. Intel's still
nice trade, MF Dangerous.
That says.
Yes.
But what else you got going on? MF Dangerous, what's he got?
No, he's bigging up the silver trade, and I want to say thank you so much for that, and thank you for you to take it at least. You still got half of your position left from 75.50. It's so crazy, and again, great work there, Dane. And I don't know, obviously you guys are doing it yourself, but I'm glad that we had like-minded there on that silver. Unfortunately, don't have it, but really happy with what we do have. I don't even have Nvidia on the list there today, and it's going to be my P&L number one by far there. And then the Qs are also trying to fall down. Nvidia looks like it might be catching some bids here, so let's get offer again at 182. We'll get it just in case that does wind up turning itself around. I don't think we have to worry too much about a turnaround here. It doesn't look like anyways in the Qs. We just took another bid at that low. So far so good there, and we'll just wait to see what we can do with the TQQQs coming through now to the downside. So again, this is a triple levered Nasdaq ETF, and the price that we wrote down for this one was $50.50 right there. So that was a good one. Just that's the price that we have. We were looking at it from 50.25s up to 50.50s. There goes the downside play there. PSX ripping, yeah, we did get that. So
thanks
for that one. That was a good one, man. PSX is awesome, and yeah, appreciate
at the blue sky setup.
Yeah, exactly. We looked at that. I was like, how come I don't even know about that right there? We can look at crude oil. Thanks, MF Dane Generous there. We really appreciate all the love in the chat, of course. And I'm going to be back tomorrow. So, all right, yeah, there it goes, man. Look at oil. Whoop, down, upside, downside for the market. Upside for oil, now 5 and a bit percentage points. But yeah, man, we're doing really well today, guys. Nvidia dropping off, TQ's dropping off now. Can't be happier. I have a bid at 49.45 to get out of a third of what we have left, and then we'll let it rock from there. Hopefully that low of the day does come through for us. So far, so good here today. Just really, the only mark on the account really is this Intel right off the jump. So that part sucked because we did take shares there. I did like that 45.50 area. Feel like we got the market right, but for some reason I got the name wrong there. Only human. We don't have anything else wrong though. Nasdaq big time movements, and the market's fallen back in. Just should have gone long oil, I guess, at the beginning of the day. But how do you know that? We are going to get our Qs filled now as we break.
Oxy looks like manipulated.
You know what? Oxy looks manipulated. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time a stock is manipulated. I'm going to bid 52s right here instead of 45s just to get this flow. I don't want to miss this. So there it is right there. I was getting a little greedy, maybe waiting for the very bottom of the day. So let's just take that, hands off now, and we'll wave them in the air like we just don't care because we've got 2 stocks right now that are in the dollar clubs. We've got Nvidia, which is now $1. $1.20, and TQs, which is a clean dollar as well. So yeah, man, things going well.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Just as it was starting to work, there goes the high on Rivian. You're breaking that trend, you're headed right back in. We went to our first support level, and then boom, it just broke out that high. So there's just no continuation on this bad boy. Maybe Rivian Randy likes it, and it's going to be going. Now, we're actually going to get numbers, which is going to be, I thought it was Nat Gas today, but we're going to go to Adair first, but I'll explain what I meant on Oxy when we come back.
These oil numbers, natural gas stocks changed negative 1.32 billion compared to negative 1.24 billion forecast, negative 5.2 billion previous. So again, negative 132 billion for these oil future or nat gas changes. Back to you.
All I was getting at with Oxy is at the $54 level. Like, look at this; it's got the same heartbeat going on over and over again in the same 1% range. Like, 54, 54.5 over and over and over again. And as the market's weak, we've seen energy be strong and then vice versa.
Oh, what the? Is there news about Nvidia or something? I guess it's just the whole. I have no idea, but now we're $2 in the money right now on Nvidia. We're almost $1.50 in the money right now on the TQQs, and it's a hot dog kind of glizzy day right now if you've been trading to the short side. Wow, absolutely fell apart there. Like Nvidia right back into the lows of the day. We'll take it there. That's a bang up trade, that is for sure. Netflix, very, very green today, but could have been greener. We did lose that bid and got stopped out right there. So good out. We only had 10% left, so can't. If you're 10% out, is going to be the last that you have, and that's the only one that was put you red on the trade. That's going to be good. So 90% out of it for profit, 10% out of it for loser, and then yeah, like. Man, when you look at a chart, you really realize how down the TQs is right now on the Nasdaq. So we just say thank you, Nasdaq, for that. And it's nice to see finally that strong. Yes, 2 fills down there. That stronger move to the downside. Man, it's only 10:30, and oh boy, are we on one right there with this market. Huge downside play. Like, is there anything out? Like, is Broadcom losing the bid over here right now? Yes, it is. Back down into 326. So, like I said, man, I know it's been a little bit of a rough day out there to try to find some big trades. You just had to kind of sit in them a little bit, and, you know, that can be uncomfortable. That is for sure. But, you know, sitting there watching this sort of come down has been nice for the short, but yeah, maybe a good opportunity to pick some up if you're a little bullish on the market. Down 1% as we were sort of rocking early, and definitely not doing much here an hour in. But that's, you know, this is something that's really helped me out, man. Don't have too much FOMO. Someone in there in the chat's like,
oh, I'd have all the FOMO on Intel if I was a FOMO guy.
Giving FOMO as well, but yeah, man. I mean,
I'm almost top wick.
You just got to trade what you got, you know.
Well, that's part of the. Sorry, I'm just eating my.
Times it's tough.
Eating some cantaloupe. There. No, sometimes it's just how it is.
Yep.
Like if I set up, if what's been working for the last few months or so as this particular setup that's worked really well, part of it is okay. Well, I know where my out is going to be, and so you'll have stop outs like this where you get the entry, pretty much went to plan. Stop triggers, and then there's the follow through after the fact. So that happened on Intel, it could happen on Rivian, it could happen all over the place. But that's just par for the course, man. So I'll have my red day this week, and I guess it'll be a Thursday. But you know what? We're still early in the day. I did want to go back to Mobix. MOBX. The annoying thing is there's a stock, which is MBOX as well. Don't get them confused. So this is still battling. There's no definitive direction yet off the $1 level for this stock, but it is worth noting it's battling back over $1 here. So it's one of the few small cappers. Well, it was good yesterday if you were playing it to the short side early, never really set up a long, but it's holding again. I like this like wipeout bottom, hold the 90-cent higher low, and let's see if it can take out the top. There's a bit of room for this to run, and it's one of the better volume names out there. It's going to do it's done a couple hundred million shares here, but it needs to take out this 110. See that consolidation? You can take out 110. There's plenty of room to about 130 to 140, and then that's a level on the daily chart that we were talking about yesterday. So MobX will be on my radar. If I can find an entry, like I don't want to FOMO it, if I can find an entry into Intel, I will. At this point, it's through VWAP, so it could be like a VWAP hold underneath. It might end up having to be something along the lines of a consolidation because it is 10:30. Like you have to, past 10 o'clock for me, it needs to look good on a 15-minute, not a 3-minute, which is a little bit more picky, unfortunately. So it's going to have to do something, maybe go a little bit sideways, consolidate. But this would be a nice spot for it to start holding. We're at yesterday's close price on Intel. It just had to take some time. And eventually, it started to come back in. Intel's done this before, where it just rallies on nothing, and then eventually you lose the bid.
Marissa just said this to me. This is why you got to have pets, man. The pets are so funny. This is our cat. We have no idea how old
that's
she
the
is.
garden.
And like, so Marissa noticed that she's like always looking out our back porch and seeing, you know, cats or not cats, squirrels or birds or whatever. So Marissa this morning put out some nuts or something out there and gave a little bit of a viewing pleasure to our friend there. That's Ali Cat. That's her name, Allison, or Ali, Alex, I guess is what it is.
I see what you did.
And there it is right here, you know, a squirrel. So there's actually a red squirrel running around our backyard right now. Pretty unique red squirrel. So that, you know, that's something that I was hoping she would be able to see. But that's kind of her friend, the red squirrel. Okay, that's that. We did take a little piece out there on the Qs as we made made a move back upside. We'll take a little bit more out on that one. Let's check out what's going on with Robinhood. I mean, on this most recent market move down, there it is, man. Robinhood, wow, really getting clapped. Robinhood back to red. Like, this name was at 84.50 not too long ago. Now Robinhood all the way back in. That's not good. And $80.50, $80.40 right there to the downside. Be careful with what's happening here on Robinhood. We've broken a lot lower. I was going to look at SoFi and said, like, let me look at a stronger name, Robinhood, but it doesn't look like it's stronger at all. So, yeah, nice move to the downside right now on Robinhood. Maybe pick some up on that gold card or whatever it is.
Oh, the gold card? Is that big of a catalyst? I think it's good. I don't know if it's a singular enough catalyst to make it do anything relative to the market, unfortunately. No, SoFi is better. Like, that's not weak. SoFi is actually looking a little bit better. Like, I might throw that one up somewhere. Because at this point, like, I'm looking for something to break a trend. And when you've got a long downward trend like this, then things start to have that type of a setup. So I want it to be something relatively strong if I can. SoFi does, at least for now, fit that bill, but it's under VWAP, which isn't always the best in the world. On the 15-minute, doesn't look like it's really setting up any kind of a bottom just yet. Yeah, but SoFi looks like it could be on the radar. Throw up that super chat from Adam here.
Okay.
There we go. Adam James, still abroad.
Oh.
Let's just analyze the market a second. Why are the market makers just propping it up? Let the damn thing crash and buy retail shares.
Yeah.
This top is ridiculous.
Cash and burn.
There's also apparently another one.
Burn it to the ground.
So we'll get to the, it is Gulf franchise again. FENY, Fidelity Energy ETF, Rocket Ship. Energy's been looking good.
We just giving you guys, I know it's been tough, man. I mean, we've only traded, like, I'm 2 for 4. We're going to go now 3 for 5 if Robinhood holds. So there's a quick little scout, man. We went long at 60s there. We just got out at 95s, and we only got out right there of 10%. So we might be adding to the losing stockpile today, but we'll watch out for Robinhood. I'm just playing against that low of the day, just in case we do have a little bit of a retracement back. We'll average it. We'll get a little bit more there at 70. In case it does break, that low of the day is 40. So if it breaks that, we can get out of Robinhood. But let's just see if there is a little bit of a play back. I mean, we still are short the market, short Nvidia. So it's not like, I'm super pumped about this market going higher. Wouldn't mind a little bit of a pullback, though, in the futures and let Robinhood settle itself out. I'm going to bid right now something on the TQs 59s. I think I just put a bid out there. So hopefully that will fill out for us. But here we go, man. We're going to start along on Robinhood. So it is a new position alert right there on Robinhood, giving it just to 80.40, the low of the day. So, it could be a hit. If it is, it'd be about 30 cents or so with slippage. And I think that there's an easy opportunity to get 30 cents if this market just ticks up a little bit from here. But momentum is downside on Robinhood. So we're trading it lightly. I have like half of a unit on this. So not a big one, because the slippage I feel like could be big if we do break low side on Robinhood. All right, I think that was a call for Adara. Yep.
I'm about to start this sector watch by saying something I haven't said in a while, and that is technology services is outperforming the rest of the market here. There's outsized strength within the tech services sector. We did have Money Mitch this morning from Trade the Pool referring to this as well, but Palo Alto Networks, ServiceNow, CRM, App11, as Neil and Sean were mentioning earlier today with CRM, particularly Adobe, CrowdStrike, these are all going to be making at least 3% or high 2% moves to the upside. The other sector that's kind of strong here is the energy minerals sector, as we do have, again, more reports with regards to the happenings in Iran. Other than booking holdings with a nice push at the upside, consumer services, though, is going to be really red. Consumer non-durables, red. Health technology, markedly weak. Producer manufacturing, utilities, process industries, transportation, though DoorDash is actually up 4% here. They're implicated in that Robinhood Platinum card. They're one of the partners there. Non-energy minerals going to be weak here as well, along with health services. Now, to get back to tech here, because we talked a little bit about tech services, electronic technology actually pretty weak, with the notable exception of Broadcom, up 4% now off of earnings. Finance going to be right across the board, but for Berkshire Hathaway. That's because new CEO Greg Abel purchasing $15 million worth of the company's stock, and the company also announced going to be resuming share buybacks or share repurchases. It's been a 2-year hiatus. I haven't done this since 2024. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara.
Thank you very much.
All right, yeah, thank you very much, Adara. We did get out of some more cues there as we ripped up. I had to punch out of a little bit there as we took down the 200 period. That's generally speaking a trend changer. I'm still waiting back here at 60s to see if there's a play there as well. Yeah, that's a look for me on that stock, and then Nvidia's made a move back up, and we just wait. I mean, Robinhood's not doing anything, so I feel like there is a good opportunity for this to go back up, but also in this, look what the market's been doing here on Robinhood, and look what Robinhood's been doing, so definitely not appreciating the way the market has. So, you know, if we had gone long anything else 5 minutes ago, probably rocking Robinhood, no. So I'm really confident, not confident, but that stop that I'm gonna have at the low is where I want to stop out, okay? Because definitely turning around. We thought there was some good news there with Robinhood, apparently not overly. We're hearing about BATL right now, as that's starting to go, as we saw oil making a much higher move today. And there goes Battle up another 30%, so congrats on that one. People seem to be making a little bit of cash on BATL.
Yeah, the one that stunk if it bounces has been Indo. Like if Indo goes on sympathy, it's not been following through. It's not moving at all. Battle's been the strong one. Indo's been absolute trash. The last 24. Okay, that's even. I was expecting that maybe it was at 20 or 21, but this is the squeeze one. For sure. I would love for that to drag Indo to the upside. If it does, I think that's going to be a fade. We didn't fade it yesterday. We faded it 2 days ago or on Monday. It was on Monday or Tuesday, probably. But I'll go pay for locates on the off chance that Battle brings that one higher. They're just low float energy names or oil names with either high short floats or just low floats in general. They get these squeezes when oil prices go up. And some of them are just have a tendency to fall heavily as people take advantage of them. IBIT broke the trend, so again, waiting for it to set up. It broke the trend line. There is the breakout on the trend line. The prior bar will be about 40.40 on IBIT. SoFi was trying to do the same thing, but it hasn't yet. So very similar thing happening on SoFi, where it's trend down from the top and doesn't seem to want to break it yet. Still heading to the downside so far, but I am looking for this one to bounce.
Okay.
I'm reloaded.
Right there, man. Wow. Okay, Nvidia, thank you. We sat there. We talked about that price, that we wanted that price, and ball don't lie. It came right in. We sat there. We took that fill. We did get stopped out of our Robinhood. You know, oh well, have to pay for my own coffee, I guess, today. But that was a very, very slight trade. We even talked about it having half of a unit there on Robinhood. So yeah, at least we got a little piece out there, but that was only 10%. So definitely not a good one there on Robinhood as it falls down. So we actually wind up having two green stocks with Nvidia, Netflix, and then I don't really want to count this as a red stock, but it is. And then down on Intel, obviously, and waiting to see the end result here of our TQQ trade. But Nvidia was a really good reload there on the short, but I am starting to cover now in the 40s again. Just want to take advantage of this play. And hey, man, if the market reverses from here and goes lower, great. But that was a good little out there. And remember, our stop, Randy, was always 20 cents. No, Mark hooked us up. Rob hooked us up. Yeah, thanks. Randy's been a very busy guy today. We've seen a lot of action around the office. So they be building, that is for sure. Bob the Builder, that was a pretty good show. All right, so now we go to the downside. And again, like just taking the risk off, right? So our stop was always 183. It's still in. So if that triggers, fine, we're out. So that would mean that on this trade, it's 25 cents or so. So we're well in the money, 25 cents on the last reload. So let me get out. We are now out of half of the reload. So now it's 1-to-1 with all the risk now back in the market. So we can just play with house money and see where this goes now. But yeah, the market and Nvidia has been stronger than the market today. That's for sure. They did have a little bit of a whoopsie moment there and we took advantage of it big time. But right now it looks like it's finally gaining some strength as it moves back up. So I'm actually talking myself out a little bit of staying in this. We just put another 55 out. Let's take 20 cents there, and then watch out for that. So
we got another one here from Golf Franchise looking at EGY. General thoughts. Well, that's always easy to give general thoughts on another energy name.
The easiest.
Well, I mean, most energy stocks are strong. So is this strong? Whoa, where's the volume? Okay, well, definitely not a day trade because it's done 250,000 shares. Yikes. Well, it's a strong, look, the daily chart looks nice. I don't know what to tell you. 250,000 shares inside the range. It's got a nice trend on the daily. Maybe you could call it a good consolidation or bull flag, but I don't know what's going to get this going, unfortunately. So general thoughts are this is probably not much of a trade without a catalyst that I can think of. And I'm not sure what to tell you with that one, EGY. But it's in the right space, I suppose. Energy names are good.
Fantastic. We saw XOM today as well get going too. So XOM just made a huge move to 152 and then a pull back into 150. It actually got as low as 149 and change. They're short. Is this one? Did you just talk about this one? Short MSTR,
no,
short red squirrels. Yeah, man, red squirrels are awesome. I'll see if I find a picture of it, if we can get one, if it comes back. There is bad news?
They are bad.
Yeah. There are bad news. Yeah, I know what he's saying there.
What's wrong with red squirrels?
I don't know, that's what I was wondering. Like, they're just bad news. But anyways.
We had a possum in our backyard for the first time ever.
Oh, yeah.
But they're good for your...
Our dog has said hi to a possum a couple times.
They get rid of pests, and they don't really... They use other animals' holes, so they don't dig holes in your yard. And they're like nomads, so they're only there for a few days, and then they bugger off. So you actually want possums, even though they look like gigantic rats.
Yeah, they do, but they're much...
Well, my daughter wasn't a huge fan.
I like the possum look. But yeah, MSTR is bad to the short. No, I mean, look, I mean, Bitcoin's really falling on its head today, right? Again, like down to 71,000. We got up as high as 73.5 or so, and Bitcoin's really trending to the downside. So whenever you see that kind of a play, yeah, man, MSTR as a proxy for Bitcoin, you know, holding, don't know even now how many hundreds of millions, trillions or billions of dollars, not trillions, of Bitcoin these guys own. So, you know, you kind of know what you're getting into when you do hold MSTR versus an IBIT or versus the cryptocurrency itself. Bitcoin has, you know, its ebbs and flows. The only thing about MSTR is that if you want to hold it, then you're going to get, you know, double, triple, sometimes the movement on MSTR. It's almost like a double or triple levered ETF.
Best way to think of it.
For it. Obviously, you know, again, don't add us for saying stuff like that, but that is what it's like. And here's Bitcoin right now. So this is a 1 minute chart. Obviously, you can see the downside push, but I don't mind the short in it. I just think the bulls might be out for Bitcoin right now because we did break above this level, right? I mean, we didn't break below, we broke above. So this is a little bit of a pullback day for it, but I don't know. I'm not going to agree with a short on MSTR, you know, for a long time. But I think Bitcoin can find a bid now. So I'm not happy with it today. I don't think anybody is. But IBIT right now, downside. So I think it could find a bid. Just looking to buy some myself. I picked some up at 66. So if it comes back in, maybe that's another key level there. All right, NVIDIA does stop out, and we're completely fine with that, man. This was never... we didn't write this thing down. We found it early. We took it late again. We got out of more than 50%. We actually started, remember I said even at 55, I was like, okay, we should take it a little bit more out. So we'll run it, a little bit of house money there. So pretty flat on the whole reload of that. But at least we sensed it out that there was a little suspect trading right there in NVIDIA. Futures want to kind of hold out lower. They are starting to fade back out a little bit. So the TQ's making this move back in. I think it's wise to maybe just take another piece out. Feels like the market can get on the back of NVIDIA now and go. So there we go. We'll take a 78. And now we can just let this thing settle down a little bit. Next fill in the 60s, and then we'll wait for a day's lower. So again, back here into the 20s if that comes through. So just a little bit of a busy day here today, back and forth with the market. Had a nice run early, then a fade, and now we're trying to think about going lower, I feel like anyways. But I'm not going to short NVIDIA. That name is strong, strong, strong. Wow, it's 10:50 already. Oh my, no idea it was that late. What was Randy asking us for a coffee for, man? That was
Dollar
late.
time.
There. Yeah, dollar time. Let's go talk about money talks with Adara.
Let's talk here about that U.S. dollar. DXY trying to take out yesterday's high. That's going to be around that 99.3 level. Currently right there. We are still a little bit a ways away, though, from Tuesday's, yeah, that would be Tuesday's high of roughly 99.7. Then, of course, the next frontier would be that 100 level. But as of recently, the level of resistance has been less exactly 100 on the dot and more that 100.2 area. So some quick technical analysis of the U.S. dollar for you guys. But before we get into, and before we go back to Sean and Neil, I want to get into some economic numbers and data. We know we had Fed's Barkin commenting earlier today, kind of saying, hey, maybe the fight on inflation isn't as over as we thought it was, given some of these recent prints. So that's a little bit concerning potentially if you're looking for those immediate rate cuts. We did get initial jobless claims slightly lower than expected. Export prices a bit higher than expected, but import prices slightly below expectations. Later today, Fed's Bowman coming through at 1:15 p.m. Now, in terms of like the hawkish to dovish scale, I would say she's been more dovish, like mid to late 2025. Since then, she's been a bit more neutral. And again, if anybody is ever wondering the dovishness or hawkishness, relatively speaking, of any of these Feds, I'll usually tell you guys during the segment, but you can always tag me and I'll give you guys my sense based on recent comments they've made. But yeah, Fed's Bowman, kind of a neutral presence as of late. Tomorrow, though, we are going to be getting NFP's non-farm payrolls forecast 55,000, previous print 130,000. So really, this number could go any way. Retail sales month over month, negative 0.3% is the forecast. That would be a market decline from the previous print of 0%. Unemployment rate, 4.3% forecast, 4.3% previous. As far as the CME FedWatch tool goes, we're still seeing roughly 97% chances of no rate change. It's been more or less unchanged, moving within 1% either way over the last week or so. Back to you.
Dara, and we come back to, oh boy. New position alert. It's Palantir, man. 153.40. We're now in the money 50 cents. We just put this on 2 minutes ago, just before, not even maybe, just before we threw it over to Adara. We just saw that it was bouncing here. And I was looking for, I just actually perused through a few. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We're at a 10% only. No, actually, we're at 20%. We got two fills there. So I was just looking for a name that potentially gave me an out if we were wrong, because I was thinking about the long now. As we saw Nvidia blow to the high side, which is a great, check that out on Nvidia. There it goes, upside. And we did get some more outs on the TQs as we were going. So we're very, very light, and stupid eyelashes, on this trade. So I wanted to find something that, if we could take advantage of a move higher there, where maybe do we want to look? Palantir green on the day, gave us some trades. So I'm not going to, the next fill for me is going to have to be around 153 flat. So we're just going to wait for that. We do appreciate the move higher there, but now it's faded right back in. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. It's a new position for Palantir. And if we take down this 200 period, that we can get out. These are the kind of trades, like I said, man, that I'm trying to look for. And 153.20 or so is where we're waiting. We'll see if we can get a fill almost where we were, and then we'll bounce it off of 152. Basically 85 or so is going to be our stop. So yeah, just something that's working right now. Oh wow, a bunch of names. Oh boy.
That's a lot, Modern Gamer. SoFi just came in. SoFi just broke the trend as well. So it held the $19 level and is breaking the trend to the upside. We just jumped in. So Modern Game Development. I said gamer. Not that it matters. Reddit, Shop, VSR, Tear, PSX. We already talked about. Shot. And then IBL, short, you probably mean short. Okay, that makes way more sense. Short, and then IBLC buy. So how about we deal with the one that you like to the buy side? That's like a blockchain ETF you like for the long. It doesn't really trade all that much.
Okay.
I bet you that's even blocked here because it doesn't do any volume, but it's like a blockchain ETF. Yeah, nice little trend break, good bounce. Right at the 50 period in the meaning of life. Needs to break that, get through that, and then I think you got a good one. I'll address the short in Shopify. We call it the death keel, being the one that everyone loves in Canada. But you know what? This is starting to look a little bit better. I'm not happy with it. I probably have some I don't remember the last time I bought a share of the Shopify, but I do own shares in the RSP somewhere. It's probably from a while ago, but it's been depressing. You're probably looking at this. Is it the correct guess to say you're looking at the 50 crossing that 200 and death crossing today? Maybe that's the reason to get in. Because the other side of it is it's breaking out of this consolidation higher. So it's actually breaking a consolidation. So I'd have to imagine maybe you're looking at that technical entry point for the short in Shopify. Starting to look better, the chart, in some ways. Let's go to Adara. We have 4 minutes to go. And then we get to, we haven't even done what's for lunch. And then we'll throw it to the midday guys. Yeah.
About that segment.
Interesting story here. Iran mission telling the UN via an X post that the claim that Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz is, quote, baseless and absurd. Iran remains committed to international law and freedom of navigation. So it sounds like the Iran mission denying claims that Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, as far as I can tell, or the Strait of Hormuz, sorry. Back to you.
Okay. Well, what's closed, the Strait of Hormuz is, them saying it's closed doesn't matter. A bunch of banks in England saying we're not going to insure you for reasonable prices are what closes things. Money talks and you know what walks. I didn't want to say. I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it that way. So Sharif just said what it really meant. But yeah, you know what walks. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, but that's the truth. But that's the truth. That's why. Oh, and guess who's meeting with the president? Right? Like they're like. President is actually going to be meeting with some companies regarding, and we're actually getting a pushback into the downside, regarding some insurance, regarding with that insurance and whether or not the U.S. is really going to be able to backstop some of those contracts, because that's what it's really all about. The second you're insured, they're going to send them, risk or no risk. They're going to send them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so. Okay, come to the party, Palantir. Like, it was just, I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, do we take a 70 fill? Do we not? Like, are we going to get this move lower? Are we not? Like, all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, Adair goes breaking news. I'm like, oh, great, it's probably going to be something to do with Palantir. I don't know if it was or not, but here it comes right to the downside. PLTR really starting to go now back in. So we just got to be careful. We do have our stop at 152.75, but there's the fill down lower. Maybe take a little bit more here. There's some size there at 01s. Not that that really does matter there on Palantir, but we're going to try to see if there is a little bit of a hold spot right around this 153 area. We're going to get out of a quarter low than this. It'll be 50 cents worth of a hit for PLTR. As like it's almost like the market's frozen here. I don't really see anything going on, but yet I see this name dropping through. So Palantir right now on the move down. We're long right now at 17. Pretty comfortable with that. And we've got a decent position. So, hey, man, if it goes up, we can enjoy it. If not, it'll be a 50-cent hit on the way down. But, yeah, 10.57 right now. We don't want to forget it. I haven't even loaded it up right now. So let's just do this real quickly. Been too busy looking at all them trades.
Just don't be
right now. Yeah, yesterday was fried chicken. It was really good. Yesterday's meal there. We even get an approval from
could go for assorted
Professor Protein over there. Really liked it as well. Okay.
Captain Protein.
Yeah, that's not bad. I don't mind that one. I prefer the Professor Protein, the double P's over there. Okay, so that's Palantir. All right, today we've got a Mexican flag, and that generally has meant tacos or fajitas or something like that. So let's go see what it means. Sometimes you get that Mexican chili, which just kind of looks like ground beef.
Oh, I had chili last night for dinner.
Well, you are lucky because today it is not chili then, Neil.
Okay, good.
And I'm sure yours is much better. Today is a strange one. Last time this was marked as chicken, and I told her it was pork. Today it's pork fajitas. Let's not mislabel this. Pork fajitas with seasoned veg. Toppings include sour cream, green onions, tomatoes, cheese, rice and peas, apparently as a side, and then the infamous choice salad. So, yeah, we're excited.
You know who will even like that?
Who?
There is no way that Joe can say no to rice and peas. Straight up. There's no chance. He's Jamaican, man. I'm just saying.
I find Joe's not overly that picky. I mean,
rice and peas, bro. Rice and peas, baby.
Yeah. Everyone likes the rice and peas. So, yeah, a little bit of an out there on Palantir as it goes back up to 153.30, but, you know, definitely not reacting the way I'd hoped it would down here. It's now, I mean, look, if this breaks 15 more cents lower, we're out, or 25 cents more lower, we are out of Palantir. Just seeing if it wants to hold this 200-period moving average. We've seen many stocks do that, and something that I've back-tested and want to believe in. So we'll see if that is the case. And generally speaking, I don't want to fight, you know, the Fed, but I also don't want to fight the futures. And right now, they're trying to go upside. So Palantir, come on, my guy, play the game. There it is. This needs to be like Triple H, man. It's time to play the game. That's what I need. I need Triple H's music, man. We got Austin's over there. We need some Triple H, or maybe the Undertaker for the bad trade.
Taker. Taker is like the legend.
I feel like our Nets got
Taker is the
Undertaker
best one.
today. I don't know
Yes.
how you've been.
Tombstone,
but,
not Undertaker.
Oh, I haven't been tombstoned. We're pretty comfortable. I mean, I would like to see this Palantir go, but other than that, that's it, man. All right, it's 11 o'clock. Good session today. Thanks to Dara. Thanks to Mitch.
Best rookie in WWF history is The Undertaker.
Yeah.
He was the most dominant first year.
When he came out first?
The
Yeah.
most dominant first year of any wrestler ever was The Undertaker.
We're going to enjoy the pork fajitas today. Where is Netflix? Because I got to make sure that I give Joey back some time over here. $99 right now for Netflix. We did get stopped out there. I just wanted to double check to see what that low looked like. So it does come right back into it. So Joe and everybody looking at Netflix, good little level there if it ever comes back to 98. I think there for Netflix, as it's been bouncing off there a couple times. And we took it on the first support. Looks like the second support was the good old gem. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you once again. Neil